rookies are back! And this time, they're backed by the awesome power of the Game Slave 2! Check out these actual game screens! Are you still playing your old, obsolete Game Slave 1? Why? What's wrong with you? Have we offended you somehow? Huh? 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 On sale midnight tonight at all digital fun fit locations. Lines are forming now!
Wait, where do you think you're going?
To the mall. Game Slave 2 goes on sale at midnight. I need one.
Oh, okay then, have fun. Just one thing, take your brother with you. It can be dangerous out there.
That's what the bat's for.
She can wait to get her stupid game.
Son, video games develop hand-eye coordination and make kids into better human beings.
Okay.
Bang! Top Radar. Please tell me our company isn't starting that shitty magazine. Top Radar. Everything you want to know about tops. Whirl them, roll them, spin them. Tops.
I love the editorial staff in Top Radar.
Top Radar. Yeah, they're all 90. Really into tops, though. Some of them dig marbles a little bit. It's a big show this week. Oh, man. I got a dick ton of sound effects coming at you for some reason, probably the top 7. 2 of the biggest releases of the week will be discussed in depth. We have an interview with Tim Schafer of Double Fine. Yeah, that's right. And as a very special returning guest, Tim and Tasha from Double Fine. That's what it is. And a very special guest. Oh, my God. Hold on. It does deserve kind of a drum roll. Who is this? Return? Who's returning?
It's me, Paul Ryan.
Oh my God, it's Paul Ryan!
We've actually just assembled a Paul Ryan robot for sound effects.
It's amazing. Man, this podcast grows by leaps and bounds every day. Not most podcasts. No podcast can say that. They never grow by leaps and bounds.
No. It's amazing what they can make me say.
What a dumb medium. How you doing, Paulie?
Good.
Where you been at? Did you quit?
I quit.
Mm-hmm.
I'd had enough.
What was the best thing you stole on the way to the office?
I didn't take much.
Oh man,
I may have borrowed a copy of a dual copy of Oblivion and BioShock, I think.
You've earned it. I think 3 years of service.
No, the least they could give you is $50.
Yes. Excuse me, it's 30 retail.
2 great games.
30 retail. You're at least worth that full. You're in school though.
I am.
How's that going?
I'm learning a lot about publishing.
About publishing?
University. Yeah.
Oh man, you're going to be our boss someday if we convert to a magazine.
Mostly just vocab.
Is it?
Out of date.
The internet is a way to publish what?
Do they not appreciate LOL in college?
No, I've been working part-time in an alternative little weekly paper.
Really?
And it was brought up in class once. One of the headlines had the word LOL, L-U-L-Z, and it wasn't my class, but another student stopped me and said, "What does this mean? Is it supposed to be a typo, or is it funny?"
Was this student like in their 90s?
I didn't. It was a little older.
Yeah,
the class apparently.
I would have thought it strange, like when I was in college, if someone asked what that meant. But now, with like a good 8 years separating that, like I would have thought surely you grew up with a aim in your hand.
Won't apply to anybody listening or anybody in the room, but there's a bit of a bubble, I guess. Like,
I guess, yeah.
A lot of my friends wouldn't know what lulls or a woot here and there would mean.
Well, you guys have learned. You've been in the streets. How to
I guess that's what it is.
I was raised in the streets. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I guess I'm Brett Elston. By the way,
I am Brett Elston.
I am Brett Elston.
I am also Brett Elston.
Good.
That is Paul Ryan. I'm Chris Antista.
This is Michael Raparez.
This is together we make TalkRadar. Paul, are you ready to get back into this? You've actually listened to the podcast that you've been gone for like the first time ever.
When I was here, I didn't listen as much because I hear you guys all the time in real life. But now it's just like it's the best way to keep up with what's going on in gaming. Without actually having to spend hours and hours and hours every day.
Can we make that into a promo?
I was going to say, can we have that in a It's the best way.
Oh, and I have also forgot, also coming up later in the break, Another edition of Games Radar Playhouse, erotic fan fiction style.
Oh, God.
This is going to be fantastic.
Is that the one I sing?
No. Hey, no spoilers. You have to stick around for this. Past the Double Fine Tim Schafer interview on into the second segment. Then we do the Playhouse Theater.
Oh,
but, Paul, what do we usually kick off the podcast with?
The top 7?
It is the top 7, Paul. I had a...
Got your vocab down and everything.
There it is. Is that too loud?
Could be.
Fucking new equipment. What was the top 7 this week? It was a nifty one. Can you load it up, Michael?
I'm trying.
I'm trying too. It's like the whole Wi-Fi.
All right. It was the top 7 summers in video games.
Oh, there it is.
Sort of like the release windows.
Oh, okay.
The releases that came out in certain summers.
Charlie did this one.
It's very weird, and I imagine it was more difficult to put together. I don't think Charlie was taking stabs in the dark.
No, he kept asking me for dates, as you might expect. And oftentimes, me and Wikipedia were
at odds with one another.
Well, a lot of times we gelled, and other times they're. This is an interesting phenomenon that the dates for 80s video games, you would swear it was like in the 1800s. Like, no one knows anything at all.
Oh, and eventually history books will read some claim that...
Yeah, it'll be some suggest that Metroid came out in April of 1986, when in fact I posit that it was in fact March of 1980. Like, no, like there's no one kept... And like, Nintendo is a little bit better, but like, when did Rockin' Cats come out? And when did Tubin? Like, I don't know, just all this random stuff. It's like no one kept track of anything.
Oh, that's right. What was I
Keep in mind, though, it's 1986. How many sports facts are ironclad and burned into
What was that
fucking
feature I was
diamond?
trying to do where I was trying to look at games released in 2001? And there's conflicting data all over the internet.
Yeah.
Nobody has the correct data.
It's so weird how data is so just was not handled well until literally like 2002.
Yeah.
When everyone was like, oh, fuck, these things matter.
These things might matter.
People are going to be paying attention, and we need to have concrete dates for everything.
Yeah, eventually we're going to have our Citizen Kane, and there's going to need to be photos from the premiere, and you're going to need to know what day it is.
Michael suggested there have already been several Citizen Kanes of gaming.
That he did.
Yeah.
What was that feature called?
I think that was Citizen Kanes of Gaming.
Oh, that takes us back.
But this top 7 was
just years. That's what I love about it.
It was the best, like, because summer is more known as because it was specifically
dumping
summers.
ground.
Summer is like the dead zone. Like July and most of August up to this point this week were really hard almost every year in the games industry for working because there's nothing going on. Luckily, that's E3, Comic-Con, things like that fill the void, so there's always stuff to do.
Yeah, I never felt like I was lacking in anything.
Yeah, but as far as like news and things, like the last few days for news have just been terrible.
Oh God,
it's just been and then you look at the release schedule. Biggest games of July.
No.
Crackdown 2 is the biggest one. But this is top 7 examples of like really great summers that kind of buck that trend.
Really, really great summers. Let's go to number 7. And what I try to do is grab little completion noises for every games Charlie pointed out in particular, and you can see where I stopped. That point where I stopped was when Tim Schafer walked in the office with giving me about half an hour to prepare. So that's when I stopped collecting audio, but I had intended on it.
Well,
1987 is number 7.
Appropriate. Why, Charlie has, he calls out, this is the beginning of several classics here. You had Metroid, as I mentioned.
Hold on. Wait. Yeah. How's that sound? Too loud?
No, it's good.
All right.
The Legend of Zelda.
I have. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I actually need that for a text message sound.
Okay. That's different from the new ones. It's a little slower.
Yeah, it's different.
All right, give me another one.
Castlevania, the original. That's just a whip. That's the NES Castlevania and Kid Icarus. Oh yeah, that game is not as good as everyone thinks.
Nope.
And then what? Leisure Suit Larry and the Land of the Lounge Lizards.
It happened too.
It
happened too. I was very excited to learn that there was a game where you could try and fuck people.
Is that Successful Voyeur Sound?
Successful. I forget what that is. It's not a game with a lot of sound. All the sound music by Al Lowe as well.
The score sound.
The score?
Yeah.
I
think was just replaced by the word score in later games.
Don't have that. So, 1987.
1987. I think 1987. I believe. Let's see.
I bet Paul and I have an interesting stance here.
What's that?
About 1987.
1987 in games.
I was 3.
I wasn't playing. We weren't playing games.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Why not?
I didn't play a game, I think, until 1988.
My
February
dad
1988 Mario
brought
Brothers.
home Kid Icarus.
Really?
I watched him play it, and then he would ask me if I wanted to try, and I said, no way.
No
Fuck
way.
you, old man Ryan.
I think this is when, I think my 7th birthday in 1987, I think that's when I got my NES.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get any of these games. I think I got the Mario Duck Hunt Gyromite set. Well, Gyromite Duck Hunt and then Mario separate. But a friend of mine had, of course, all of these, like you do. And I remember, obviously, Zelda like being the one that just captivated the shit out of me. And it was the gold cartridge, and it was like I've told this story before, but like walking over to another friend's house, like playing Zelda, and just like losing my mind that this game even existed. That it wasn't just running left to right. There was save data, like it persisted when you turned it back on later, and then there's hidden stuff all over the place, and I don't know. Just
can you believe I was bored by it?
I
didn't understand.
No, I can totally get why. Like when you play something like Mario, everyone sat down and was like, fun.
That's
and
what
then I'm like,
doing.
no, you gotta play Zelda. And like, what do I do? Figure it out.
You got to figure it out. You got to wait a while.
Nobody wants to do that, and it turns out 7 million people did, but whatever.
And Paul and I were.
Metroid's the same way. Babies. Metroid's the same way. Like you have to, and Metroid is a game that's aged horribly. I can't stand the first one anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote about it.
It kind of sucks.
I wrote about it in one of those features we did earlier this year, like games we hate now, or classic beloved games we hate now. I
guess that's true. I don't like Super Mario Brothers. I won't play Super Mario Brothers.
I find it all right.
I respect it, but I
the
don't.
First Castlevania,
the first one.
First Castlevania, I'll play that forever. I love the first Castlevania.
Ooh, I have a sound for that.
Great. The big summer movie that year was Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh, fantastic!
I gotta say, seeing all these boxes just triggers very fond memories of browsing in Sears.
Oh my God!
I didn't actually get an NES until '88, but I remember I would go to Sears at every opportunity because not only did they have a big display with all these new Nintendo games, but they actually had a couple units you could actually sit and play. So I developed a weird taste for Urban Champion.
Duh.
Oh my God, Urban Champion!
Yeah.
I was the same way with Montgomery Ward.
No, Monkey Ward.
Montgomery Ward, and I know I sound old as fuck, and it's not fair because that store was around for like 80 years, and just because I got there, I bought my Nintendo 64 there when they were going out of business.
You killed it.
I didn't kill it. They invented Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yep.
Numbers.
That's where I got. That's where I got Mario 3. I think was Monkey Ward.
That's not on the list, but number 6. Number 6 is what? What year?
Oh damn it!
It's 1989.
1989.
It's 1989. Everybody.
This is that thing he was saying. 1989 does it as well. The summer of 1989. Looking at all these boxes and the art on GameTwitter.com /URL unreadable.
Oh yeah.
That idea of like shopping and seeing NES games on a shelf when it was kind of the only console there was, and it was always pitched as this new Nintendo thing, and it wasn't like video games per se. It was just advertised as Nintendo. Everything was Nintendo. Everything was conceivably made by Nintendo. All video games were Nintendo now, and it was everything with a fucking roof wanted to sell Nintendo games because it was so popular.
What the fuck?
Michael bashed his knee into the table.
Oh, why couldn't he scream into the mic?
He held it.
He did. He held it.
He's too polite.
Held it in like a man.
Even now, he wants to scream and won't.
He kept it together.
Let it out, Raparez. This is your building now. Damn it. You all right? You want some ice? You be okay?
Yep.
All right.
100%.
I don't do that again. That was really dumb.
1989. What a year, everybody.
1989. Oh,
sorry, everyone.
1989, the year of years.
Actually, this is an amazing year for hardware launches. They got the Sega Genesis.
Oh, got that, sort of.
Technically, that didn't come until Sonic the Hedgehog
Thank
in
you,
1991.
All right. What else?
TurboGrafx couldn't
find anything there.
And the Game Boy.
Game Boy? I do have Game Boy.
Yes! Yeah. I was hoping that's what it was. Turning on a Game Boy, watching the logo come down very slowly. Yeah! Launched with Tetris, which was in the top 7 a couple weeks ago. What?
That's a level up noise.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I haven't played Tetris in a while. Altered Beast came with...
Live from your grave.
Mega Man 2 came out that summer.
I believe.
Yeah. Easily the best Mega Man game ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And will forever be. They'll never make one that's that good.
Mm-hmm.
The original pretty shitty Ninja Turtles game.
We didn't know it was shitty at the time.
I had some inkling,
Yeah,
but I couldn't confirm it
We just
because I
thought
loved
it was
too much.
really, really difficult.
It's
we
hard.
thought it was hard.
It's hard. These enemies that aren't in the series keep respawning.
Oh God! Why does this seaweed keep killing me every time I get
Yeah.
within a pixel of it?
The game's moving along briskly, and then there's a part of the game that I can't pass, and it'll kill me in 2 minutes.
Why does this man on fire throwing smaller men at fire on me?
Because...
Duh, because
TMNT,
That's all the
Konami.
reason you need.
And then the first Populous came out.
Ooh.
Oh, there's your 16-bit
Little
Sound
scary.
Blaster going
Little
crazy.
scary.
That's Molyneux's first game he trashed later.
Mm-hmm.
I actually enjoyed the first Populous.
Strangely, I don't think he lied about it before it came out.
Yeah, that's true. He was probably, what, 72 at the time?
Yeah.
So he was pretty young.
Yeah, still in his early vampiring days.
So, I mean, as far as, Summers go, can you...
There was two more.
That's all... Oh, well, Tetris and Super Mario Land?
There wasn't another one in there?
Oh, and the release of Dragon Warrior.
What? No.
Eva, Apitozen.
That's not this...
It could have been Wolfenstein.
That's not this entry.
I told you it wasn't.
Oh.
That is 1989 in a butt shell. We can move in number 5.
What? I think we were going to talk about it?
For me, it was the same as 1987. I had no pubic hair. Still getting around, though. Still.
Yes, we know you're walking people to clinics.
Mm-hmm.
I vaguely even recall the TurboGrafx being around. I remember seeing it in stores and, what's that crap? That's not Nintendo. And then at the time the Genesis launched, I definitely didn't care because, it was... 89 was Nintendo almost practically at its peak. 89 and 90 were unassailable. Nintendo cannot be stopped. And it wasn't until... perhaps the next number on the list.
Number 5.
The Penis.
Number 5
is 1991.
Penis number 5. Wasn't that a song by Lou Bega?
Penis number 5.
A little bit of it in my butt. All night long.
Breaking off. Okay, where are we at?
Summer of 91.
Summer of 91.
Which is another... Well, which is the... What?
What, Elston?
Oh, the iPad. I think something on our page might be linking to... 91 was... I just said about 89 was Nintendo at its peak, and even though they launched a Genesis and a TurboGrafx 16, they were kind of lost. Genesis had some good games, but it wasn't enough to take anyone away from Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus, all these things that were just these franchises that were making characters that would be around for years, and Sega wasn't doing that at all. And that's when it got Sonic the Hedgehog in 91, and that completely flipped it around.
Are we already there?
Yes. Sonic the Hedgehog. You're just waiting for game names so you can push buttons. The original Lemmings was also part of the summer. Fuck yes! Oh, the first one is so good. Did you ever play 3D Lemmings on PS1?
No.
It wasn't bad. It was let's do. And then in August, barely making it in classification of summer was the Super
All
Nintendo.
three of these trifectas.
Super Nintendo, which came with Super Mario World. Very underrated. Well, not underrated. Pilot Wings. Yes.
Take the shit out of that.
God, that's another game that's fun forever. And then one of my favorite games ever is the original F-Zero. That wasn't part of it.
Sorry.
Pilot Wings I really like, and Pilot Wings 64 was okay.
Almost resented for paving the way for non-related mini games.
Yeah, but they were all well done. There was no event in that game that I thought was shitty.
It's true.
I never beat the night mission.
Night missions were tough.
Too
the
hard.
Helicopter night mission is tough.
But it was 91.
It was 91.
So you did have a Super Nintendo.
No, I had friends.
Okay. Man, that was the one thing that didn't come exclusively to my life.
That was the one thing I couldn't buy.
No.
I did not. I got a Super Nintendo in college.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first time I ever had
It
it.
was 94. No.
2006.
I failed. What's number 4?
Number 4.
Oh, wait, I have shit for this too.
You know the big movie in 91? Terminator 2.
I know. I keep getting it mixed up and thinking it's 92.
Summer of 92.
So I almost thought, was Charlie doing something wacky here? There's two dates, conjoining dates here.
Oh, years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 91 was the last one. Number 4 is 1992, which...
That it is.
The first thing that jumps in my mind was the console release of Street Fighter 2.
The console... Oh, wait.
Street Fighter. God damn it.
Stole some elephants.
Yes.
I have plenty of Street Fighter noises.
The emblematic noise.
That is not. That's an elephant being stepped on.
Plenty of Street Fighter. You've heard it all before. You really wanted to hear the elephants. I assure you.
No, I love it. Of all the noises, of all the more noises, that was like unbelievable. Like it was already a huge deal in the arcades playing Street Fighter 2, but when it came to Super Nintendo, it was just like, I for the first time in my life, I actually sold games in a yard sale, my NES games, to get me the money because I need Super Nintendo, I need Street Fighter 2 right now. And then everyone played that for like 20 years. Like,
I starved. I ate donuts on Dares for 8 months just to buy me a Super Nintendo,
Street Fighter
or
2.
Genesis. I can't remember.
Unbelievable. Mortal Kombat appeared in the arcades. Ooh.
Yeah, going back.
Played a little bit of that in the arcade. Wasn't mostly when it came to Genesis. Echo the Dolphin.
Sure.
That is one depressing fucking game.
Is it?
Yeah. I remember like playing it and wow, a dolphin, that's kind of fun, and then this music really wants to make me kill myself. And I'm like, I'm 11. I shouldn't even have depressing thoughts. Everything's still new. I'm 11.
Oh, the dolphins are dying.
And the dolphin's like, I've lost my way. Give up. Give up.
And wait a minute, this is a Japanese games who still kill dolphins at an alarming rate.
I think it's Eastern European.
Is it?
Isn't it Appaloosa?
Yeah, it's some...
My mistake. Yeah. I always confuse the two.
Well, you know, the depressingness is somewhat more warranted in the latter case.
I can see that. It's a very bleak outlook on aquatic life. And then Wolfenstein 3D.
Eva, Puppy Design.
There you go.
And then he shits his pants.
And then he shits his pants. You gotta isolate that at some point.
That's kind of your first FPS, setting the stage for Doom and setting the stage for every game that you argue about today. Big summer movie was Batman Returns.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most violent movies McDonald's ever...
Was there another game that came out?
Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
That's the one.
Which Charlie says, instant classic point-and-click adventure.
Charlie is an asshole.
I don't think anyone...
He's off playing Halo Reach. I'm mad at him. I don't like Charlie now.
He's already beat it. And he told me what he thought, but I can't say it on the air.
Oh, no.
Because there's embargoes.
Embargoes?
Oh, right. Next, moving on, number 3.
Number 3.
And this is, this must have been really, I don't know, 1995.
Personal for Charlie, I would say.
Yeah, I don't remember 1995 being particularly good because I look at this lineup and you've got Virtual Boy, which was a laughing stock. Even
wasn't that the year Gabriel Knight was released?
It's not on here.
Maybe not then.
The Sega Saturn had its surprise May launch.
Oh,
yeah. Surprise May launch, and I'm sure I've told that story where I walked into a Babbage's to buy a RAM cart for my Sega CD. I need more save data space. And then the guy literally cuts open the box. What the hell? Saturns. Sega just decided to release that thing 5 months, well, whatever it was. It was supposed to come out in September, but then PlayStation came out on 9/9/95.
Good lesson in PR.
Which is still technically summer, but Charlie wanted to omit September from the list.
Oh, good for him.
Even though you could even wrap PlayStation in as, quote, summer of 95.
I won't.
But don't. Notice he doesn't have any of the Saturn launch games on here, just that the Saturn came out. Bug and Panzer Dragoon. Panzer Dragoon. The big ones for me that I actually specifically recall, Chrono Trigger. Right when I started high school, freshman year, was Chrono Trigger and Killer Instinct.
Humiliation.
Boo. I can't believe you got the song version.
Couldn't find anything else.
Wow. That's the hidden track off the Killer Cuts album that came with that game.
Yeah.
That they said limited edition, and I still to this day.
That's what we played a long time ago with like the Hanna-Barbera sound effects on it.
Yeah.
Like the Jago track.
Boom! But you know what that is, right?
What?
It's the humiliation finishing move.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why it's the hidden track. On the CD.
And Mech Warrior or something like that.
Mech Warrior 2.
Yep.
Down at Nav Gamma. Bravo Cadet reports 4 summoners on site.
Did anyone play Mech Warrior 2?
I built a chair for it.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I had the joystick and the
throttle that was a
to
wise
wooden chair.
Wow, really?
You built the command center is what you're telling me.
And I'd have my friends come over, and one of us would use the joystick, and the other one would control the speed.
The other one would sit in the other one's lap.
Too elaborate, yeah.
Wow. I really enjoyed the first Mech Warrior, but then when 2 came around, this is right when my PC was starting to be outdated. And I couldn't.
But that's still like a huge game, though. Like they're just talking about now.
What did it pave the way for? Do you think there's no other mech games that?
Mecha Assault.
Yeah.
Which almost
Mech
was
Warrior
successful.
3 and 4.
Steel Battalion, which I know like 5 people out there listening are applauding right now.
Yeah.
Over such a big game.
Well, it is weird that was a major franchise that's
like
not
$1 billion
it's not even played out. Like I'm not done.
Yeah, I'm not done
with mech games. It's just the only ones that keep coming out are from Software and are really clunky Armored Core or Chrome Hounds. I don't want to play that shit. I want to play like a really just not like there's no style to the mechs at all. It's just function. It looks like shit, but it's loaded down with missiles. It's so cool. And Phantasmagoria came out there.
Oh my god. I wanted my friend I wanted my friend to write an article about that because he showed me the game and I was such a pervy little kid and I went over to his house and he was really into PC gaming. Is there anything with boobs? Do you have anything with boobs? And he's like, well, there's a rape scene in Phantasmagoria. Like, let me see. Let me see it. And that's all I remember about it. Like the semi-rape scene in Phantasmagoria.
Was like
lots of FMVs in this thing.
Oh yeah, that was like the height of multimedia disc.
But it's also, as far as those games go, this one is really nasty.
Oh yeah, I've heard it's quite.
Yeah, the gore at the end is pretty shocking if you haven't watched a lot of horror movies.
If you look it up on YouTube, it still works. It's like,
yeah, main character, like she can get her head sliced open with a guillotine.
I gotta see this.
She can, like, if
this,
spoiler alert here.
It's okay, Michael.
Careful, somebody was
spoiler
mad
on
spoiled the Expendables.
Nobody still has the 7th disc to that game.
Spoiler on an ancient game, but yeah, like the demon at the end will, like, if it catches up to her, it will jam its thumbs in her eye sockets and then rip her head in half.
It's
fucking it's nasty.
It is a nappy game. Oh shit! I'll get fired if I say that.
Also, Command and Conquer.
Ooh, CNC Music Factory.
Yeah. I didn't think that was 95, but I guess it could have. I guess it is.
Maybe it just didn't take off.
Yeah, I feel like I played it after I was playing Warcraft already, and then I was like, this game doesn't make any sense. Where are the orcs? And then I quit. And finally, Earthbound.
Can't believe this is the point Tim Schafer came in. I got 600 tracks of Earthbound.
I was gonna say, you don't have any of it.
I'll find, if you want to keep talking, I'll find an Earthbound track.
Let's talk about Earthbound. Well,
Go
Chris
for
looks up a sound effect. I have never played this game.
Really?
And I find that a huge deficit in my...
That is weird, considering that you're like the ultimate Nintendo fanboy and you never played Earthbound.
It is bizarre.
I mean, I didn't either, but I have no reason
It's a game you would like.
It's a game I would like. It came out in the summer '95, and what was I doing? I don't even remember. Like, I was trying to play...
There you go, Earthbound fans.
Woo! Yeah.
Right?
And I do love the soundtrack. It's one of those games that
the soundtrack is
fantastic.
I have it on here because I listen to it somewhat frequently.
Yeah. And it came in a larger size box because it came with a strategy guide inside of it. So if you ever see a game Earthbound in the box, it's not a regular size box. It's a big box.
And we went through this a long time ago. You can see it if you go to the TalkRadar Companianarium. It's the one that's clearly an Earthbound screen of all the music.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff.
This is the Enter Your Name screen.
Yeah, and it goes on for a while.
The fucking Sousa Monty Python theme. It's 3 minutes long.
It's and then
there's like 80 tracks that long. Oh man, it's crazy.
And then we still don't have Mother 3 in the U.S.
No.
And, Mother 4, which Mike Grimm was renamed in TalkRadar 100.
Was he?
Yeah, the king renamed him Mother 4.
Oh wait, I did that.
That was the king, Chris.
My bad.
That's enough for
apologies.
I do remember playing Chrono Trigger like 95, August of 95, starting freshman year of high school. And, like every morning going over to my friend's house, and then his mom would drive us to school. And we would just go into the end of time where everyone's standing around. You could go and talk to them, and it would start playing their theme song. And we'd just go listen to Robo's theme and get Robo-rolled every morning before going to school.
I love that song.
So, because I was so... My freshman year of high school was just so full of normal classes, and then I had PE with all of the assholes seniors that were like one shake away from being in prison. Like, just the biggest redneck thugs and just such rude and sensitive people.
Wedgie mongers.
Not even that. Just so pushy and yelly about everything. And it's like, can you just go fucking rob a bank already and just get thrown in jail? Like that.
Yeah.
And then it was just listening to Robo every morning, like, come on, I just want to get through this one day.
Oh, where's
like this guy, we're playing pickleball, which is like...
Pickleball?
Yeah, we all know what pickleball is.
That sounds illegal.
So good. I love pickleball. It's like baby tennis, basically. Look it up.
What?
You play. It's tennis, only you play on a hardwood gym floor with big paddles and wiffle balls. So instead of a tennis ball and a tennis racket, it's a big ping pong paddle, basically, and a wiffle ball. It's really good. It's an awesome game. But he lost, so he runs up. He takes the time to run across the gym. Gyms are not small, no matter what town you're in, and runs across to the other side of the gym, and there's the door to the gym, which is a glass door, and punches the glass out of the door and shatters the glass. And now his hand is bleeding, and there's the glass in his fucking knuckles, and the teacher's like, God damn it! There's no school nurse here. It's a shit town of 4,000 people. There's no come on, let's go fucking hospital.
And you
because he lost a stupid game in PE.
And you said at the time, fuck this. Let's dance.
Yes. Yeah!
I found it. I'm sorry, I found it.
And then I did a little...
This is Robo's theme from Chrono Trigger. It's going to sound a little like something else.
I cut a rug right there on the gym floor, and they beat me up.
Probably beat you up for saying cut a rug.
Yeah. No, actually, they'd probably identify with cutting a rug.
That's all that song is missing is Rick Astley's MIDI trumpet in the middle.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
What is it, number 2?
Number 2. Why, best summers in video game history, moving on, is summer of 2003. This was not a good summer for me personally, I must say. It was a bad breakup. Oh, my God.
Bad breakup with who?
She, her name.
How long were you guys together, though?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Why was it bad?
Let's see. Why was it bad?
Was there cheating involved?
There wasn't cheating involved. Oh, almost. But
tell us about your feelings.
Tell us about my feelings. Yeah. It was just
more important about the year right now.
Yeah.
These games are too new to me. I don't care. I want to hear more about your.
Well, I actually have a personal story about 2 of the games in here.
I
think
I've heard some of this before.
Leading into this, part of the reason was Wind Waker in April, just before summer, definitely contributed to that breakup. It was more like where I'm in that relationship and I'm thinking, I don't think I want to be in this relationship anymore.
But I don't have anywhere else to be.
Yeah, I don't have anything better to do, and I don't have another girl I'm hitting on the side or something. So I'm just kind of like, but I don't really like the time we spend together, and I'd rather sleep in my own bed instead of going to her house, and I'd rather just hang out with my friends instead of. I don't give a fuck what you want to do. But because it's comfortable or whatever, I'm kind of like, sure.
You were losing the mutual respect one has in the relationship.
Yeah. And then she breaks up with me, and it. What? No, you can't. And then that,
the nerve.
And it was the first time that had happened to me, where I was just so out of the blue, bye. And lost my fucking way for about 3 months, and just really devastated. And I tried to sink myself into games to get through it. And the first 2 games I played were the Enter the Matrix, and then the Hulk game based on the movie.
Mr. Else.
So it was not getting any better. And then the first game was KOTOR, which was on this list. Summer of 2003, Knights of the Old Republic came out, and I just. You know how much I love Mass Effect now, and this is the beginning of that, was Knights of the Old Republic. Just completely immersing myself in that world. And it helped that it was already Star Wars, so it was kind of familiar. But the story, the gameplay, the atmosphere it creates, and the dialogue, it just made a very, very compelling world to get sucked into.
What are some of the other games on the list, though?
F-Zero GX, which I can't pimp enough. F-Zero GX came up also in August, I believe, and that was... followed closely by Silent Hill 3, which I enjoyed as well. Also in here was Warcraft 3, which I did not play because my computer could not run it. And Star Wars Galaxies. I don't think anyone cares about Star Wars.
Well, I played this, and I think, aside from World of Warcraft, this is like the last time that I tried an MMO.
It was Star Wars Galaxies? Right in the very beginning?
Yep. I remember being really excited about it.
Those were really exciting times. I was excited just to watch that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, Nerf herd. No, do it. That's awesome. Can't believe you really herd nerfs.
You can build a house out of bones in the middle of the desert.
Man, there's a Jedi somewhere on the server. Are you fucking kidding me? No, someone spotted him over in Razgul. I don't
monsters killed me or something, and so I had to do a corpse run out to my stuff, and then there's a dark Jedi standing in between me and my stuff, and if I get anywhere within sight of him, he comes and kills me. Motherfucker.
It's neat in practice where, like, if you make Jedi and Sith actual, like, hard to find and they're kind of myths and legends, but that's not fun for anyone playing but the person who's the Jedi.
But as far as their balance was their own downfall, because the more they tried to balance the game, the more they upset people.
Yeah,
because they constantly like nerfed characters left and right.
And then they basically remade the entire game and pissed everyone off.
Yeah, but it's a patch. It's like while people are playing, like, oh yeah, what you did doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. Why don't you play another character? Paulie, what were you playing around 2003?
Ooh.
None of these games?
I was playing Warcraft 3.
I played Warcraft 3.
I think that's the only one on the list for sure.
I played all the games pictured except for F-Zero.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, F-Zero?
Oh, Soul Calibur 2 was also part of this.
Didn't play that either.
That was...
That had fucking Link in it.
Had Link in it, man. I love that the whole bit about Soul Calibur 2 was the highest selling version, no surprise, GameCube. Because it had fucking Link in it.
And they really didn't... There wasn't a... Well, we'll give you NES. No, fucking Link. They jump straight to Link.
Yeah, you just get Link, and it's like, and it worked great. He was a fun character in the game, and it worked, and it made sense. And then PlayStation got Heihachi, and then
Spawn.
McFarlane got
Spawn.
McFarlane got Spawn. Xbox got Spawn. So it's like, well, clearly Nintendo. But then when Soul Calibur 3 comes around,
oh yes,
it's PlayStation exclusive, which I get because the install base, and it made perfect sense because it was a different time. But it's like, no. But still, you sold so many more on PlayStation or on GameCube just because Link was in it. Yeah. I really want to know why it didn't end up on GameCube again. Like, how could Namco be like, no, we don't want to replicate the instant success we would get by having a Nintendo character on our game. It will only be on PlayStation. Like, how could it even hurt?
Well, we know Sony doesn't buy exclusives, so it couldn't have been money.
Yeah, couldn't have been.
No.
It's just
never.
It's just so bizarre.
I do remember listening to some guys talking in like a software etc. or something, and saying like, "Oh man, I heard you get to play Spawn in this game. That's so cool." And like, really?
Had you not played the first couple of Spawn games?
Fucking relic from 1994. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, that was the other weird part about it. It was like, wait, Spawn? Like, he was really relevant in the 90s, and 2003, it's kind of like, yeah, he's still around, but it's not like Spider-Man or any kind of other long-lasting, like, real comic book character.
Let's go to number one.
Couldn't have even been Medieval Spawn. Give me an excuse to sell that stupid figure.
Oh, Medieval Spawn, I would have been more excited about.
You both talked over Antonio Banderas.
Of course. Sorry. Number one.
1997, I think.
2000.
Assassins.
Assassins. No, I don't remember the year, but I thought it was like 94.
It won't affect me, whatever the date is.
Okay. Summer of 2009. I've never seen the movie, so if I'm wrong, everybody shut up.
Okay.
Summer of 2009, which was just last year.
I know.
And it's strange. Usually when we do these top sevens about the best something of a time period, we're always like nostalgia whores and always the old one.
It's hard to have nostalgia for these games, and I've actually had the good fortune to play all of them.
It is
on the list.
It is strange that
none of them I'll ever go back and play. I don't know if that's just because of my current stature and this job.
It's a mix of stature, and the games are all longer.
Yeah,
I guess they are all longer.
You can't just jump it back into games anymore. You always have to go through the long-ass tutorial level, and like, oh yeah, I have to get back to the point where the game was actually fun.
I like Wolverine for a little bit, and then my game literally broke. I watched YouTube tutorials to see what was happening, and it's because Wolvie wouldn't target. He needed to jump target a guy on a ledge to get up there. Wouldn't do it on my game. No way. Never passed it, but what is it? Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters, I played.
Infotype, Protomus.
Infamous Prototype, Ghostbusters, Arkham Asylum, Red Faction Guerrilla.
Punch Out for
Wii. Call of Juarez is on here, but I don't remember that really making a big splash. But
is it Bound in Blood?
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that game.
That was alright.
The Kaj Bib.
You remember you liked that.
The Kaj Bib. I did, but then I hadn't played Red Dead Redemption yet.
And then Sims 3.
Yay. Sims 3.
Yay.
Woo!
That was pretty cool.
Oh, what a year. Who can remember back that far? This summer
it's so sad to end it on. That was last year.
Well, that's what.
Go listen to any of the podcasts from last year.
That's what the point of it was. That the summer's almost over. The summer's pretty much over.
Yeah, and this summer, like, Other M is out, which we're going to talk about in the next segment.
It goes out with a bang. You guys can both talk about it.
We got Other M, we got Mafia 2, just had Kane and Lynch, but then look around June and July, it was pretty damn quiet. It was it cracked down.
It was sad, but I mean, there was StarCraft came out.
StarCraft was a big one, yeah.
Paul,
people still playing that?
Summer? Part 2.
I played. I got a beta key for StarCraft 2.
Did you?
Even though I wasn't here, so I was playing that for a while.
How did you do that? Through personal contacts?
Yeah. I got connections.
Amazing. Yeah. Nobody at Blizzard would ever return my so much as an email.
Yeah.
But then you played through Limbo, didn't you?
I did. I played through Limbo. That's the most recent game I played, and I really like that. And I've been playing a lot of arcade indie games, which are $1 and really, really good sometimes.
Been the biggest part of the summer, I think. I get more questions about Shank and fucking Limbo and Scott Pilgrim than I got about any of the other games coming out this summer.
I'm just not used to going to the store and buying games
sort of anymore.
Yeah. I used to get them all.
It is a kind of like, oh shit, there's a GameStop.
Yeah,
I can look for games in there. Like it never would occur to me.
Yeah, I have to go all the way there, look on the shelves. Somebody would ask me,
but I'm excited, and I'm not saying that as a game journalist, because please, no one gives me shit.
Yeah.
I'll buy that shit from Amazon if I want it, or I'll borrow it from one of you guys. Yeah. That's pretty much my only option. All right, we'll go into break. We're going to hear an interview with Tasha and Tim from Double Fine about Costume Quest, the latest downloadable game from Double Fine, a studio I defy you to say something bad about. Wonderful, wonderful little studio that brought us Brutal Legends, Psychonauts. No one? Fine? Okay.
Well, then going back, it's just Tim Schafer's catalog of Monkey Island.
Escape from Monkey Island.
Full Throttle.
Full Throttle. All revered shit. And then when we get back, oh god, erotic fan fiction, Metroid, Other M Talk, Mafia 2. It just doesn't end.
We can talk about Shank a little as well.
I can't wait.
Here, fuck, but what, do I have his name down here? Toastyle. He did a remix of me yelling about some fat Luma in Mario Galaxy 2.
Yes.
He remixed something with Elston.
I saw this.
And it's a little more subtle.
Yeah, it's very trippy. It's a horrible idea. Forever don't.
You're a liar.
Do it anymore.
Be back in a second.
God no. 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 God no.
Break it down. What did you think of that?
It was beyond wonderful. It was fantastic. Pretty good.
It was very good.
Hey, this is Mike Nelson from rifftracks.com, and you're listening to TalkRadar.
Oh, hi, listeners. Wow, who are we sitting here talking to with?
I don't. Oh, us.
Us?
Yes.
We got some Double Fine folk.
Yeah. I'm Tim Schafer, the founder of Double Fine Productions, makers of this game, and employer of this person here.
I'm Tasha Harris, and I am the project lead on Costume Quest.
Very seriously. What are we doing?
That was funny. I stole her silver pen. Do you notice I got a silver pen out of you?
Nice! I was going to edit that out, but we just got bombarded with people bringing stuff in for Tim to sign. Does that happen all the time, Tasha, when you're trying to talk about Costume Quest?
We're trying to talk about Tasha.
Tasha?
Only if we're...
Will you sign my copy of AtGamer?
Ooh!
It's a silver pen. It's always fun to sign the silver pen.
We had you sign something for Charlie Barrett.
Exactly.
Which he hasn't got to tell the story about. I think he met you at a Final Fantasy party.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Do you tell me you remember, because he said he embarrassed himself like more than he ever remembers embarrassing himself.
Did you throw up on me? Was he that guy?
No, he just kept telling you how much he liked you, and like, oh, that's great. And here's another reason why I liked you. I thought you were really great.
The thing that's always funny to me is why people think that would be the worst thing in the world to do.
I'm just trying to embarrass Charlie here.
Oh, should we embarrass? Yeah, that guy was creepy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and he just gave one more reason why he's creepy after another. No, that's always awesome. Who doesn't like going to a party and being loved? Or whatever you call it.
I wouldn't know how it feels. I wouldn't know.
You're the best.
No, I do.
You want to know some reasons why you're the best?
Why is that?
You have a little microphone that looks like a Muppet.
It does look like a Muppet.
And you have a great view from this office.
Well, that's because you guys were kind enough to sit down and do a little commentary on us for our first look at Costume Quest coming to Xbox Live and PSN sometime in the fall, we're saying?
Yes. It's a Halloween game. That's not a hint of any kind.
I see. It's a Halloween game. And it looks...
It's our first downloadable double ever from Double Fine Productions.
Oh, yeah. It's charming.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful.
Thanks.
I love looking at it.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer on a really, really shitty video player today. Like, man, it looks really dark. It's not dark at all. It's vibrant. It's nice.
No, it's not.
It looks like a cartoon.
It's got a rainbow unicorn.
I'm completely
right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very dark rainbow unicorn.
You got to watch out for those Flash video players.
He uses only blues and purples. But yeah, this is a game that Tasha came to me a couple of years ago. Was it a couple of years ago? And had this idea for a game that she had since she was a kid to do like a game about trick-or-treating and Halloween, but where monsters are attacking the town and you have to use role-playing battle mode to fight them.
And candy as currency, like the only currency a kid has on the Halloween.
Yeah.
Plus the awesome costumes.
So you've had the idea since you were a little kid?
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing about this game is that, like, I actually came up with it when I was, like, about 8 years old, I think, and it was, like, in the Super Nintendo or Nintendo days, and I remember drawing these little pixelated kids trick-or-treating in this neighborhood, and it's just, I loved Halloween growing up, and I also loved RPGs and video games, so it just seemed like a cool idea.
Sort of perfect. Because
back then, we didn't pay her much at all. She was only 8.
She was 8?
Yeah. We paid her in candy.
When she was 8, she would sit around and sing songs, skip rope.
Yeah.
But it's sort of novel because there's been systems like that before, but it's Halloween, so literally every costume is embodied with a power of some kind. Because eventually you go into, is there a mode that when you go into battle mode, you were looking at Reynold, one half of the Ren and Reynolds siblings.
Exactly.
He went into battle mode, and his robot costume all of a sudden became like filled with life, sort of like a Calvin Hobbes fantasy. Boom, is a real robot. Transformers.
Which is like probably how it exactly always looks to Ren when he's wearing it.
Yes.
Even though it's made out of cardboard and...
To him, he always looks like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about Halloween is that you can kind of, like, pretend to be somebody else, like, for that day, and it's, like, very imaginative holiday. And I kind of wanted to capture that spirit in Costume Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are not that many holidays that are about creativity, in a way. Like, your Halloween is definitely about that, like, what kind of crazy costume you come up with. And when you're a kid, it's that way, and even as an adult, that kind of creativity goes through, and that's why I think this game, hopefully, will appeal to people of both those ages.
It sucks because I guess you can't include a lot of licensed stuff. I was one of the Venture Brothers last year.
Oh, I see.
What did you guys dress as last year on Halloween? Where was your creativity?
Link from Legend of Zelda.
You can do a green tunic in the game, right?
Yeah, we probably couldn't call it Link, but we can call it, an elf or something.
We can call it Lonk. It is.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever dressed as a licensed character.
No?
I haven't dressed up for Halloween in a while.
But you
very lazy.
showed me a picture dressed as a lava lamp.
I was a lava lamp years ago at the ILM Halloween party. But then it's really, because you're going to the ILM Halloween party, and this is back when they made physical models there. Like, maybe they still do that there, but it was mostly CG. Before CG, these people would come with these costumes that were like giant 20-foot wingspan, pterodactyl, just crazy things, and you're like, I've got to go all out. And that pressure to go all out is like kind of eventually maybe too self-conscious to dress up on Halloween because like, I've got to make the greatest costume of all time. Which the lava lamp was. It was the greatest costume of all time.
How did that work?
Well, I made this like foam core shell for the base, and I sat in it, and then there was this mylar strips for the glass, and they had this lights embedded in it, and then I dressed up in this red lumpy sweatsuit, and I looked like the lava, and I would dance around inside of it, and it was really, really cool. But then as an adult, you're like, next year's got to be better, and then you just get like, I can't top that, so I just stopped dressing up. But when you're a kid, there's just a little more. It's a little more carefree than that. It's not so much pressure to, it's just about having fun and imagination and fantasy, and that's what the game is all about.
Is there a way for you to customize your own costume? Because I saw this. Reynolds was running around. He's picking up different abilities. He got a pair of rocket skates, or were they just regular skates?
They were like wheelie skates.
Wheelie skates.
Wheel around, and that's that robot's costume special ability when it's in exploration mode, doing quests around the world.
But I'd say
the customization comes more in the upgrades that you can get, which we can't really give details on those right now, but that's kind of like how you choose. You can choose kind of like which upgrades to buy with the candy.
Because candy is the currency, which you buy these items that help you do better in battle.
Help you against monsters and roving gangs of bullies.
Roving gangs of bullies. They're monsters attacking the town. Well, they're not attacking the town. They're stealthily invading and taking the candy for nefarious purposes.
Because it's their currency too.
Well, everyone loves candy.
I mean, I love candy.
Exactly.
And none of the adults in the town will believe you.
Yeah,
when you're
as adults are, they're just like. Especially, it's always the worst night for monsters to attack. Is when everyone is dressed up as monsters.
Yeah, they just think it's like a bunch of teenagers dressed as.
But did he live? Was there a monster living next door, or are you just occupying the house?
I think he just took over that house.
Man.
And you've got to, who knows what happened to those poor people. But the kids don't mind because they are equipped, because they have these costumes that are badass and they can take care of the monsters themselves.
Oh, and who did you say was behind the music?
Peter McConnell did the music in the game. He's done the original score for almost every game I've ever made. And he just did the original stuff that was in Brutal Legend and also everything from Psychonauts.
It's cool. But as a lead animator, did you take any inspiration from any other anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely take inspiration from like other games that I play. Like, I mean, I really love the look of games, like a lot of Nintendo's games, like Wind Waker or
that's the eyes I was trying to get at. The eyes like, remind me of Wind Waker.
Yeah, or like Paper Mario series or the Animal Crossing, like anything that's kind of like cute and simple and like Castle Crashers. I also really like the look of just any of that kind of stuff.
But the gameplay too, I think, harkens back to some games of your youth.
It is
not my youth because I was already an adult.
It's sort of like a little Hyrule there, but it's in a neighborhood. To scale of a little child. And I didn't want to come in here just because I saw it in a really murky, bad video player.
Are you sure you're not having cataracts?
That could also be happening. You know, I do this all day. I got a Nightmare Before Christmas vibe, but I think that could just be the Halloween theme from just the three little kids. Are they lock, stock, and barrel?
Well, I'll take that as a compliment because I love.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh God, I thought you were gonna look down on me when I brought that up. I was so scared.
But also, even Paper Mario gets into little similarities with some of the combat, I guess, and then old RPGs like Earthbound.
And right at the end of the demo, he made an alliance with somebody. So nobody's telling us yet, but it's sending in some
fellowship, if you will,
a fellowship or a squadron or an ally or. Yeah? When are you guys going to be able to tell us more about that? Sometime in mid-September, I think? Sometime in mid-September.
Yeah.
Soon. Very soon.
Well, everything looks utterly charming. I love the Double Fine games. And you were saying that you wanted to see just if you could make a game quicker.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of ideas. It's a company of a lot of creative people, and people like Tasha, and other people like Lee Petty, our art director on Brutal, and a couple of other people who just have these ideas, and they're ready to go. And if you're going to make just one game every 5 years, and the line in which that it's a long time before you get to make a game of your own. So making these smaller games has been fun because it gives these guys a chance to express those ideas. But also they're fun to work on because you have an idea, and then before you know it, compared to the most recent games, before you know it, it's out there and people are enjoying it, and you're already thinking about the next idea. And also, it forces you with a scope like that. It forces you to really edit down. Instead of kind of a kitchen sink, like let's put in everything into this game because we got 5 years and millions of dollars, and we got to make sure just keep adding to it. This game we can take things out and like edit down to the core of what is essential about the game and Halloween and the core mechanics. And if anything doesn't support that, there's no time for it because you just got like 12 to 15 people and less than a year to make it.
And you find is that a lot of pressure on you, Tasha? Go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure, but it's kind of, it's exciting pressure, I guess, because, my first game, I'm very excited about it.
And the pressure won't last 2 or 3 years.
That's true. That's true. That's the benefit to having a shorter schedule is that it's over fast and it's out there for people to see, which is really
it's like
exciting.
in the very early days when we made Monkey Island, it took around the same amount of time to make the game, like less than a year, between 9 months to a year, and it had the costume question was text based, and so there's a lot of flexibility. You could change dialogue for longer, and also the ability to just drop little jokes in there, and just like every character you can talk to in the game or hit with your candy bag, can say something funny, and you don't have to worry about how expensive everything is because everything's pretty economical.
Yeah, I hope you take that as a compliment. Every one of the Double Fine games are charming, always charming. Charming.
Thanks.
There's more of a personality. I don't know. There's something to it. Like everybody there's distinction in all the characters, and I don't know. There's something that completely takes over. Someone who gets bored by cutscenes. Like I don't know. This is the kind of thing I like. I'm an animation nerd, so I can definitely get into that. And I'm a big baby. A big baby who likes candy and costumes. And I do suggest the sequel take place at Comic-Con with a Marvel license.
Noted.
That's awesome. A lot of people responded that the Halloween thing. It's like little kids and adults have this like reaction to the game of like, oh yeah, of course, Halloween. And I think it's never really been done before because it seems kind of risky to make a game that's attached to a holiday because it has to come out on that date or around that date.
Yeah, and it gives an expiration date too.
And it has to, it's seasonal, and you don't often get that. But you do get that with other entertainment like television specials. Oh, yeah. You have a Halloween episode of The Simpsons or Charlie Brown, and this kind of reminds me of that. And I think downloadable lets you do that. Like I don't know if you could do that with a retail game, but you could definitely do a downloadable game that's tied into one of the online, seasonal events.
That is really cool. Well, guys, I can't wait to play more. Thank you for talking to us. And look for a commentary video with Tasha and Tim on TalkRadar very soon.
Oh gosh, who's doing that?
I think you guys are.
Oh, we did that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Nice work, by the way.
That'd be awesome. I can't wait to hear that.
I say in future tense. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bye.
TalkRadar, bitches.
All of a sudden, I could feel 100% evil come over me.
Whoopee! I'm going to GamesRadar.com, the official website of the internet.
Can you dig it?
No more chow mein, yakka mein, a bean sprout. No more lychee, naka wonton soup. No more Louie, bring a bowl of suey. No more kissing in the yellow booth.
Yeah, TalkRadar 116 back at you. How about that Double Fine interview? Hopefully we'll have more stuff about Costume Quest, including a commentary from Tasha and Tim Schafer over a demo of the video. I think the thing looks... Tim seemed to take offense when I said, like, your shit is charming. I didn't mean to make it sound quaint. I like it just... The characters are compelling to watch, sort of, and I didn't have the wherewithal to say it on the spot, but like, you talk to an NPC in a game and he just has his breath animation to where like just enough to make him seem alive, and like their characters actually move around and talk and gesticulate and do things. I like me some Double Fine games, and the Costume Quest looks really fucking cool, and I'm totally behind. They need to do it at Comic-Con.
Oh, it makes sense, yeah.
Comic-Con sequel, that's all I'm saying. Paulie, did you just get back from Colombia?
I did.
How was that?
It was good. I visited a friend in Colombia.
Tell me the nastiest story.
I don't know if anything nasty happened.
Oh, come on, Paulie. You're a stranger in a strange land. You got your pristine white dick hanging out. All the fucking locals are going nuts for it, probably worshiping it like a god.
Yeah. We hiked through a cloud forest. That's what it sounds like. You get there and realize it. And there's only one type of cheese.
What's that?
It's regular
cheddar?
cheese.
No,
American?
it's not cheddar. Kraft.
It's
orange.
It's some sort of vaguely government cheese.
Oh, sweet.
No flavor.
What is
government
savory?
cheese
Savory.
snack
I meant savory.
What is cheese with that? I always picture just cheddar as like the most basic cheese, but that's true.
It's American. I forget who I was talking to about that, but like, what? Where did cheese get the reputation of being orange? Because it never is.
No, it was
unless it's Velveeta or Kraft Singles.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think it has something to do with those orange plastic wrappers. People just think that that's the cheese because they can't afford to buy it.
Dude, that's probably the case.
Yeah.
The shit cheeseburgers get wrapped at non-fast food restaurants.
Hell yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I am happy. I'm pleased as punch to have anybody but Tyler Wilde on this week.
Oh,
because I don't like. I know we were both hammered last week, but he was a total fucking asshole. And I have a bonus segment I may post in the forums. But what was happening in the middle? He was like fiddling with all the knobs. And like the third segment, I didn't notice until I was editing. Like, why am I so fucking quiet? And Tyler's the only person who knows how to deal with these knobs. And he kept
muted you.
He kept turning up the volume. I mean,
Right,
you
so-
guys remember that? Like
Yeah,
all of a sudden
yeah.
the volume was blaring, and I'm like, stop! And I keep waving him to stop doing that, and changing back the volume. And here is one of those events that transpired.
What does that mean?
We didn't start the top
Tyler
7.
keeps fucking with the. Quit fucking with this button.
Because
I
I can't.
appreciate you, honey, but this is what's going to make the recording sound better.
But this doesn't change the recording. I can't hear what the phone call's saying unless I turn it up.
I tell you what, use that. Turn your
Fuck
own knob
you.
up.
Thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Tyler.
Oh, that guy's an
Thanks,
asshole.
Tyler.
Whoever that is.
It was a.
It's too boring to even explain, but it was just, I think, both of us on the most potent beer that has ever existed. There is more to that, and maybe, if I remember, I'll put it in the forums as a bonus
Wait,
segment.
did you delete it all out of last week?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. There was too many Tyler fucking blow-ups.
That segment, once again, courtesy of 435.
435.
Oh,
Just
you totally should post that.
something happens that pisses Tyler off, and then, like...
I know, he hits the
He hits some mark, and like, well, there's this game out. That game sucks. Well, you know, there's this game deal like Mass Effect, it's $20. Ooh, big deal. Like, you know, other people are hearing this. You have plenty of it. You live with me. You can get back at me later. And you can see him yelling like I spent a long time like trying to like say what the ending song was. No, chess music, and he doesn't get to be here because he is a bad boy. But Chris something fucking sent this to my like personal email. Like, I don't know how he found it, but it was in my spam folder, and I looked I'm like, what is this? Remember the Chess Master music from last week?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You put a little Seinfeld in there.
Yeah.
I want it.
Wow.
I'm a big fan.
God, that Chess Master, that's out of control.
I am a big fan. Oh my goodness, new releases. Do we want to do it? Are you guys ready? You guys are both yawn simultaneously, so it's not even that it's contagious.
I don't know if we can handle the new releases this week.
I don't either. And Yet It Moves comes to WiiWare. What?
Oh God,
finally? Is Scott Pilgrim?
Finally, it's beating Flip's Twisted World to the punch sometime early.
Is Scott Pilgrim coming to
Zibla?
Zibla. Zibla. It sounds like a really shitty Kingdom Hearts master.
Yeah.
Master
Or like
Zibla.
a Mayan god or something.
When are we gonna get to Zibla's lair? Shut up.
Maybe Shizzle Shank, that is.
Oh,
which I've been trying to play all day and I can't because the soundtrack's available for free on BigDownload.com. FYI, pre-game deal segment.
Yeah. Carolyn reviewed Shank.
That was her big issue in the review. And talking to you when you play a little bit of it, that was your big issue as well.
Which one?
The attack button being the same one as the health pickup button.
Yeah, it just and I know a lot of beat 'em ups do that too. Where like Streets of Rage, Final Fight, it's always like, yeah, the same button to pick up something is the same button used to punch. But like that game is all on a 2D plane. It's not that fake 3D where you can walk in and out of the screen like most beat 'em ups. So there's always just like you're doing melee, pick up a drink I didn't need. What?
Interrupt combo,
and it interrupts,
take hits.
It interrupts a combo, it wastes an item, and then if like an enemy drops a big Gatling gun, you end up putting the gun down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's like, fuck, just get away from me! Don't even give me this stupid gun!
And there's so many other buttons.
There's so many other buttons they could have done. It could have been any other button. And the two-player game, it's fun. Like there are a lot of combos and cool things you can do. You can throw enemies to each other, throw them up in the air, and use your guns, and Devil May Cry kind of thing. The style is pretty nice. It's beautifully animated, and it looks great, and it sounds great. But I don't know. The first boss was so frustratingly difficult, and all the co-op stuff. It was like even the IGN review I was reading. He was like, I couldn't finish the game in co-op because no one in the office wanted to play with me anymore. Like it's
a different game. Though,
it's a different
single
game,
player,
which is kind of cool because they're two different. The single player and multiplayer are two different campaigns, two different sets of bosses. But it's so hard, and it's not like it's hard all the time. It's just the bosses, and the first boss is like 10 times harder than the second and third. It's just super unbalanced, and I found it really crass instead of funny. Like it was just fucks for fuck's sake, and then a girl's like trying to rape a stripper, and I'm a big dumb guy. But you're not making any jokes. You're just a guy's just trying to rape a stripper. Like, there's no gag. It's not even funny. It's just...
It's like a Street Fighter background came to life and raped people.
Kind of. And it's, what about you? Fuck you. No, fuck you. Let's fight. And then it goes, and it's like, no, this isn't even, like, it's not even... Like, I get what you're trying to do, but you're not...
people who looked at Duke Nukem and said, that's funny because tits!
Yeah, it's like but Duke Nukem was still, like, yeah, he was making jokes about it, or he was clearly a caricature, but they play it totally earnestly. Like, when they're talking, it's like, no, I'm truly a badass, you don't understand. Whereas Duke Nukem is like, you get that the developer's like, oh, this guy's a fucking moron. We get it. But, I don't know, it just never came across, and it's not like it's a terrible game, but I just, that kind of thing. It's averaging a 76. High score. 1UP gave it a perfect score.
Okay. Wow. Wait, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it really and I read the review.
Takes all kinds.
I read the review, and it also the quote the part I was going to read is also the part from Metacritic that says, "Shank is the freshest, most unequivocally rewarding beat 'em up to game to come along in a decade, and that's including all the Devil May Cry and God of War sequels."
Sure.
And I'm like, to me, those games don't even compare. Like what you can do in Devil May Cry or God of War. I don't know. I just found it really disappointing. And I love a 2D game, and I don't mind if it's hard. I love Contra 4 to death. It's not that it's hard. It's hard because of bad design. It's not hard because we designed some really clever levels.
I understand.
Nobody.
But there's the two biggest games that came out this week. Both of you, Michael and Brett, have played all the way through.
This is true.
And I want to get... Paul's going to have to decide which one we talk about first.
Great.
Paul, get your favorite color in your head.
I got it.
Somebody guess Paul's favorite color.
Purple.
Orange.
No.
Ooh.
Blue.
Close.
Red.
I don't know why I said close.
Indigo.
No, not red.
Violet.
Getting there. It's another big one.
Yellow.
Nope.
Green?
There you go.
Brett Elston.
Yes.
Brett Elston.
Metroid Prime Other emulator.
What does it do with green?
Metroid Prime, but doesn't it? You just won the contest.
Yeah,
you
know
can talk
me.
about your game first.
Oh,
the best.
That's who I get to go first. Other M actually isn't out until Sunday, but the review embargo is up now, Friday.
Gotcha.
I still want people thinking they can go out and buy it right now.
I don't want people thinking they can buy the game at the time we're recording this.
Definitely not.
No.
They can't even buy it on Friday when it goes up.
No.
Or the next day. But I still haven't written the review, and it's going to be a challenging thing to write. There's so many weird things about it. It's and they're all things that kind of I identified the first time I played it at GDC, which was, I guess, back in March. And the moving around with a D-pad, because you hold the remote sideways like a Nintendo controller, move around a 3D environment with a D-pad, which is something Nintendo got rid of with its own system in 64. And they invented a fucking analog stick for a reason, to better navigate a 3D environment, because the D-pad's not meant for that. And that gets in the way a lot. So that's weird.
You were showing me that, like, it didn't look like it mattered that much when the camera had pulled out, but there were certain times that the camera would go completely third person.
Yeah, there's another view where, and it's not voluntary, it just happens in certain points where it comes up like Resident Evil 4 style over your shoulder.
Yeah, where you need an analog stick.
Where I really need an analog stick here because the D-pad just is terrible for that. And in that view, you walk really slow. You can't actually shoot or do anything. It's just walking, and it's meant, I guess, to provide a little bit of claustrophobia and tension. But it's like I'm a warrior,
cyber ninja,
like head to toe in space armor. I'm not afraid of anything that they're gonna. It doesn't work, and it's also it slows the game to a crawl, and you're like, what am I doing? But the big thing is it's a mix of Team Ninja, kind of Ninja Gaiden action gameplay, and Metroid running around collecting things. But at no point do either of these things ever completely gel. The action is not that satisfying, and unlike games like Ninja Gaiden or God of War or any other action game where you fight a bunch of enemies all at once and you're like dodging around the room, like you can still counterattack and dodge and feel pretty swift and pretty cool. You can jump on top of enemies and charge up a shot, shoot them in the face, they blow up, or go in for a finishing move and do this really cool, what you've seen all over the trailers. The camera spins around and she does a suplex and puts the gun down his mouth and shoots him, and it's like, again, those are cool maybe the first 4 times you see them, but then that same enemy shows up every time you walk in that room, and then in the next few rooms. And then it's just a point where you're like, I'll just run past him. And then you can literally just run past most of the enemies.
Really?
And then it's because most Metroid games you didn't have to fight everything. It's like I fuck it, I don't want to shoot all this shit. I'm trying to find missiles, or I'm trying to find out what door to use.
You see, you don't even need to find missiles, which negates this noise.
Yeah, that noise isn't in the game.
No.
Yeah, that noise really isn't in the game. I guess it is when you reload a save, but not when you pick up a new item. That sound isn't there. And missiles, you can recharge at any time just by holding the remote up, holding A, and it refills all your missiles.
Like it were Time Crisis.
Yeah, shooting off the screen, and it's like, I don't mind that if they're trying to make an action game. But then why have missile pickups? Why hide them around the map? Why make me backtrack for them if I can refill them at any time? Because most Metroid games, like when you get to the final boss, you need as many missiles as you can get. But now the missiles are only able to be fired when you point the remote at the screen, and it goes into a first-person view. And when you're in this first-person view, you're fixed. You can't move around like Metroid Prime. You're completely stationary.
It's a little debilitating.
And you can all you can do is look around and lock onto an enemy and push A and shoot a missile. Meanwhile, everything else in the world is still happening. So if you're fighting a particularly fast group of enemies, by the time you point the missile at the screen, lock on, shoot, it's probably already in your face, hitting you and knocking you out of the view. And you're just
I'm guessing where it works is when you beat something into submission.
Yeah.
And they stop moving.
And they stop moving, at which point you're supposed to go up and do
sort of defeats the purpose.
You're supposed to go do your lethal strike and do the cool finishing move. And it works better for looking around the environment and solving puzzles and going, that's where I should go, this is where I should go. But when they start integrating it into boss battles, sometimes it works. There's a couple boss battles where you can get a rhythm going, and the boss gives you enough time to do that. But then it's like, well, you know what would have been better is if you just let me shoot missiles in the normal view. Because the original Metroid, the select button is what switched between gun and missiles. You just hit select. And the NES, oddly enough, the Wii Remote held sideways, like an NES controller, has a minus button not being used whatsoever. That could have easily just been the select button and I used missiles. But for some reason, I guess they felt like post-Metroid Prime, they couldn't not have a first-person thing in there. So all these, like those two things come together, and it's like that action's not that satisfying because it's never as badass as something like Ninja Gaiden, God of War, Devil May Cry. It's never that cool.
It was a gross misunderstanding on their part.
Yeah, and it's never there's no skill really either because the dodge, it's all about dodging. They do an attack, all you do is hit any direction on the D-pad. It doesn't matter what direction you hit. So all you got to do is anytime you're in a fight, just keep hitting the D-pad. Anywhere. You'll dodge every attack, and when you dodge, you automatically fully charge your arm cannon, and you let it go, and it targets them automatically. So it's like I can just sit there and like with barely any attention whatsoever to the fight, just D-pad 1, D-pad 1, D-pad 1, D-pad 1, close up, lethal strike, dead. And it's like that doesn't require any thought. Whereas Ninja Gaiden, I mean, Jesus Christ, even like the third fight of ninjas that you like,
it was Paul, the hard game king. He loved his Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, and it's just nowhere. And granted, I don't want a Metroid game to be that difficult by any means. It shouldn't be. It's just like it's not that it's not hard. It's that there's no skill involved. All I do is learn one trick, and I did it forever. And then it's like I don't enjoy that much, and then I end up avoiding the enemies later because I don't want to bother fighting them because the combat isn't fun. But they're selling it on the Team Ninja combat angle, and that's clearly where they spend a lot of time. That and the story, which the first like 3 hours, 4 hours of the story.
The cinematics are like, I tried to watch you play it, and I constantly saw cinemas.
Yeah, there's a ton of cinemas, but like
huge on story.
It's big on story, and it's really quite boring the first like 4 hours. It's like I don't care at all about this shit. It starts off with a very strong Super Metroid.
Wait, it's a bridge between.
It's right after Super Metroid.
Into.
Well, Fusion is the next one down the line.
Oh, I thought it was like a bridge somewhere.
No. Prime all the Prime games actually take place between Metroid 1 and 2. So 5 technically games happen, and then it goes 1, all the Primes, 2, Super Metroid, Other M, Metroid Fusion. Fusion is still the most recent, and like the first several hours of it is like really boring, and you land on this planet. It starts with a really strong tie to Super Metroid. You're looking for the baby that was supposedly killed, the baby Metroid that dies at the end of Super Metroid. That you saved in Metroid 2, and it's all very well like Metroid lore. We got you. We know you like this stuff. And then it just, hey, here's a team of people with Galactic Federation troops, and you're gonna run around with them solving mysteries or whatever. And then it abandons that idea, and then you're alone by yourself for 2 hours, talking to nobody, getting in some really uninteresting fights with no weapons. And you can't use any weapons because the guy that's overseeing you, who's Adam Malkovich, who is a reference to Metroid Fusion. If you played Fusion, that's someone you end up interacting with in a certain capacity. So it's like, oh, cool, that's Adam Malkovich. Interesting. I actually get to see him now. He authorizes your use of all your weapons throughout the game. So you start the game just normal Samus, and you have all your abilities. But he's like, I'm running the show here, and you used to be under my command, so if you're going to stay here, you got to do things my way. Even though he never like says it like that gruffly, it's just like it's never explicitly stated that's what's happening. He just says, don't use your missiles and bombs. It's too dangerous. And don't use anything, actually, while you're at it. And so the whole game, you have all the abilities that Samus always has. And then you have to get to a point where it's like mortal peril, where he comes in the intercom and is like, Samus, you should use your plasma beam here to melt those walls before they kill you. And it's like, what the fuck? Like,
that is so fucking lame.
It's really lame, especially when you're walking. Oh, that's a point for the grapple beam. Is he going to say, can I use... Why is
no.
Oh, I guess I'm not the story part where you want me to... So don't show me the... That's the most annoying thing.
That's the thing. It's one thing if the game teases us,
yes.
And then it's like we know we just don't have that yet. We can come back for it.
Yes, knowing that I have it and I don't use it out of some sense of respect for Adam Malkovich, that Samus is like, I won't use it.
Yeah,
and
like,
she
fuck
doesn't,
you, Samus. Fuck you, Adam.
She doesn't even turn on... I don't want to go into a bunch of spoilers about what you do and don't use and the weapons that are or aren't in the game, but it's like, there are some things that it's like, just like, why the fuck wouldn't you just turn that on? There's no and it only matters because it's a gameplay problem. Like I see all these things I should be able to interact with, and normally in a Metroid game it's because I don't have the item yet. But now I have them, but just because they felt for some reason this guy needs to authorize.
We're trying to avoid the abilities.
Yes, they want to.
Oh, you got hit by a meteor and lost your.
Yeah, and I get that it's a new way to have to unlock items, but it doesn't make sense when he finally says you can. It's always in the worst possible
scenario. So you
scenario.
can after that forever.
After that, you can. It's like, I'm authorizing use. It's safe now.
Your strapline should be Malkovich.
The other M is Malkovich.
I was doing it being John Malkovich, being Adam Malkovich.
Being Adam Malkovich. But then, like,
Malkovich,
but then at the end, but then towards the end, there's kind of
Malkovich.
They should never have chosen that name for this
really
character.
Good movie.
They should never have chosen that name. Of all the last names you pick one that's so intensely identified with one person. Yes, this is my new character. Her name is Madame Gaga.
This is Jorge Clooney.
Jorge Clooney. So I don't know what I'm gonna give. I'm thinking a 7 because, like, what's
that's low for Troid.
I know it's low for a Nintendo game and it's low for Metroid specifically, but it's like
you really seem to hate this though.
That's the thing. All this stuff really adds up and it really irritates me. But then, like out of nowhere, the last half of the game got super cool. The gameplay is still the same, but once you start getting all of your abilities and the story actually picks up and it starts relating back to the fucking point of Metroid, it actually gets really cool. And there's a lot of cool plot points and a great twist. And I'm not done yet now, but it's really at a point where it's heating up, and I'm like, I'm not digging the gameplay through and through. Like it's not a game I want to really play again, and I don't like the D-pad. I don't like moving around, and it's impossible to tell sometimes what will trigger the room to let you into the next area. Is it kill all the enemies? Or is it look for some stupid fucking thing in here that's not identified in any way and isn't on the map at all, and no one's telling me, and I got to find it and shoot it? And they don't tell you at all. And on one hand, it's like, well, that's like an old school game. You got to figure it out. On the other hand, no, because I have a fucking intercom with the guy who knows the entire station and has a map. And it's like, if you're going to play up the fact that he's leading you around, telling you what to do from place to place, it's not a big exploring world like most Metroid games. It's him going, go here, go here, go here. Which Fusion did, but did it better and quicker and more colorful. I don't know. That's it's really hard to say. I'd put it at the lower end of my Metroid scale.
Super the Prime's a happy accident. I can't believe the first-person genre worked with the pacing of Metroid.
Yeah.
But I think the pacing...
It doesn't feel like a Metroid... Well, it does now. Like towards the end, it starts feeling like a Metroid game again because they really get into the lore. But when it starts, you're like... As an action game, this is really boring because most of the enemies in the game are little Metroid critters that run around on the walls and shit, which you just shoot or run past. And then occasionally something comes out of the wall. Whoa, it's a big lizard with a tail. Fuck you. And you get in this fight that's kind of cool, but then every fight plays the same way. You never have to adapt a strategy to these new enemies. It's just D-pad dash, shoot. Jump on them, shoot them in the face. D-pad dash, shoot them in the face. They're all that way.
I will say, because I'm starting... This is really starting to bother me. I've seen the screenshots, and I've seen...
And it's not a pretty game.
It's fucking ugly, and I know what it looks like from the screenshots, and I know that's from a 720p development kit.
Yeah.
And I know the movies were taken from that too, but it should look like that on my television.
Yeah. The cutscenes look phenomenal. They are fucking amazing.
Yeah, like the pre-rendered cutscenes,
which I would
whatever.
Expect. I would expect nothing.
I was very upset to see it not even slightly replicate what the screenshots look like.
No, it doesn't.
And I know the screenshots are of actual gameplay. That's the most frustrating part.
It doesn't look that good.
Because
it doesn't look as good, or
Nintendo knows HD doesn't matter.
It doesn't look as just alive as any of the Prime games did. The art direction is not as strong. It's really very tunnely.
It's bothersome. And once Epic Mickey comes down, I may have to start tearing down walls and throwing things and like really start yelling about it. Yeah. Because that new Epic Mickey trailer we showed looked fucking fantastic, and it broke my heart to know it won't look anything like that when it's in my house and in my system.
Yeah. What's interesting about Other M is I was talking to Philip Collar from Game Informer on Twitter, and I'm really interested to see what the reviews for Other M are going to be. I'm like eagerly interested in reading the reviews. I bet they're going to be all over the place. Because he was like, we were talking on Twitter, and I don't know when he posted. The embargo's Friday 10 a.m., so it's up now. But I don't know when he is or when the magazine is actually Game Informer's going to post the review or whatever. But we were just talking back and forth briefly. Like, he's like, yeah. It's just kind of like, are you reviewing it? I'm like, yeah, I'm reviewing it. And I'm kind of like, I don't know what I think yet. It's really kind of not great.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to take your opinion, but I'm really interested to see what you think. And it's very clear. Like, I really get this sense that the reviews are not going to be very good for this. And I think it's not going to get any higher than 8, and I feel 8's too high. And I could deal with a 6. I think it redeems itself enough to not be that low at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if they got that low. It's not like it's a terrible game at all. And if you love Metroid, and I love Metroid, you'll still get some stuff out, especially towards the end. It starts really picking up, and it gets really cool.
I always think that that's tough for us, of people who have to encourage people to buy things based on our opinion. I really hate, like, just wait. Just wait a couple hours in. It's totally worth the money.
It's not worth... I don't know. I think the game is going to average out to be about 8 hours or 9 hours, which is about right for a typical 2D kind of Metroid. The Prime games were around 20 or 15 if you really knew what you were doing.
Are you still going to play on Ustream?
I am hoping today to play through Super Metroid on Ustream Friday.
Look for that.
Maybe. I'm teasing it now. We'll see how I feel after reviewing this, and then also being busy out of my ass. So,
in addition to PAX and that, you can also look for. Oh my God! I'm going to surprise Michael Raparez's review of Mafia 2. Oh my God! Out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're surprised at it?
No, I knew you'd review this game.
Oh, okay.
I knew you'd probably like it.
It was sort of inevitable that I would review it and probably like it.
Probably like it, but you did like it.
I did.
It wasn't a reluctant 8?
No. In hindsight, it might be a little bit reluctant, but I enjoyed it. I think it's a really good story. I think the action's solid.
A lot of people like praising the story.
Yeah. Well, that's the best part. The thing is, its main problem is that it's a linear game sandwiched into an open world that was really meticulously planned and detailed, and that was the extent of it. That it's like they had this really pretty, complete recreation of the 40s and the 50s, and
gorgeous.
It just sort of stopped there. They forgot to make it, put interesting things to do into it, unless you in the standard GTA 3 things of like, I can run people over or shoot people or rob stores.
Mookie won't give you the Master Sword unless you cure polio.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That like. After playing this for hours and hours and hours over the past week, I have had alternately just the music stuck in my head, which is like it has a lot of really chirpy, irritating, like white boy jazz. And
we've been playing it. We came into the break with it.
Songs and weird 40s pop things, and
you don't like the chow mein?
I'm
the Gaylords?
I'm a fan of the chow mein by
Gaylords.
Yeah, chow mein by the Gaylords. That will get stuck in your head, which is great because it's kind of racist. So it's like a twofer there. And the other thing is just like everybody talks with the dumb Jersey accents that I can't really emulate.
This guy reviewing our game.
What you doing there with the gavool? Just
I don't know what I got, but I got this guy is this Kukurabanza reviewing our game over here.
That's why you got the pistol.
That's the voice. Like there's the guy on the cover looks like Joe Pesci to me. The guy with the Tommy gun. And that's all I can hear. Hey, I'm standing here. Like,
that's pretty much what he is. Just drop it a couple octaves.
Look at me.
Hey, look at me. I'm Joe Barbaro. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm a great guy. You're going to spend the next 20 hours with me. It's going to be great.
They call me Jimmy Pants because I'm known for wearing pants. I got to find another name.
Never not wearing a pair of pants.
Got to be known for something eventually.
They call me Two Shoes because I wear 2 shoes.
They call me Jimmy One Head. That's what they call me. My name is Anthony Gameplay.
Yeah, it's
call me Tony G.
Tony G.
Oh, where to begin? It's I think I said pretty much everything I wanted to say about it in the review, and probably then some. It's a decent GTA clone that just don't expect much from the city.
I think it's hard to go to that time period and expect a lot of action.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, there's enough action for the time period. You get into a lot of shootouts. There's you fight greasers.
Just sort of looking at Assassin's Creed from where I did, and that it unfortunately requires a certain maturity. Like, I want to play in this time period. When I was a little kid, I didn't want to play in time periods. I didn't care about that. I wanted good gameplay. I wanted something fast, and I wanted a big sword, and I wanted a large gun, and that's not going to deliver on that point. But it's a great setting, and it's done very well.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it's
But just I like the setting.
It takes a little bit of patience, maybe, because it's not a very fast-paced game. It's not a game you can really go nuts in.
Okay.
It very much ties you to this narrative that they have. It's very clear that 2K Czech is very invested in this story that they want to tell, and they want you to experience it the way they want you to experience it. And so they just kind of string you along at their pace. And, that might not rub everyone the right way. Certainly I would say it's not really the right approach for an open-world game. But, it works okay here.
Paul, are you going to play the Mafia 2?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe.
I'm going to say never.
You're not at risk of anything anymore.
Well, I'm just judging it based on Michael's review right now.
All right.
That's mostly what I know about it.
Sounds
okay.
better than The Godfather, the game. And I like that.
The 2 lowest scores on Metacritic are Eurogamer was a 4.
Yeah, Eurogamer hates everything.
They kind of do seem to hate everything.
Yeah.
They don't understand because this drama made us rise to power and take them over.
Yes.
That's right. You're scared of the new empire. I'm just kidding. We're crumbling. Please send money. Please.
Please send
Eurogamer.
Please send a king to tell me what to do.
I don't know what to have.
We'll get civil rights faster with a king somehow.
It's a fucking slow news week this week, and I wanted to talk about news. And there's, it sucks because there's like a bunch of good Portal shit out there. Portal 2 is releasing a video every 7 minutes, and I don't even know how much I wanted to get into this, but I thought we should clarify. I at least wanted to clarify my stance and my opinions on used games in places like GameStop. There's still a thread in our forums. It's like, your opinions on, like, I'm not telling you not to shop at GameStop,
right?
Ever, but like the THQ creative director of the wrestling games, Corey Leedsma.
Corey wrestles a lot.
Corey WrestleMania.
Johnny Uppercut.
They were talking about like now the new games, of course, like the EA games have a token. You buy the game new. That's the only way you have access to the multiplayer stuff. If you want access used, you have to pay another $5-10.
Right.
And yes, thank you. Completely behind that. And he's like, what about used gamers? And he said, I don't think we really care whether used game buyers are upset because new game buyers get everything. So if used game buyers are upset that they don't get the online features, Feature said, I don't really have much sympathy for them. That's a little blunt, but we hope it doesn't disappoint people. We hope people understand that the games that the game's bought used, we get cheated. I don't think anybody wants that statement. I disagree. No one cares if you get cheated or not, or if you feel cheated. And so, in order for us to make us feel strong, make a strong, high-quality WWE game, we need loyal fans that are interested in purchasing the game. We want to award those fans with additional content. And people were poo-pooing that, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yes, that's exactly what he said. Basically what happened, it's to fight used game sales, is they added a premium to the game, and the premium is the exact same price it's always been.
Yep.
Just don't buy it used. You know what's going to happen to used game sales if you don't care about multiplayer online features?
Nothing.
Half the price.
Yep.
They're not going to be able to charge as much.
Exactly.
Who cares? So if you don't care about it that much, you won't be hurt.
I don't know why people still bother to buy used games, because if you just wait a few months, the new games will drop down to like 30, 20.
And I didn't have this. I had this really long diatribe, and I apologize, but I wanted to because I wanted to make an article out of it, like an op-ed piece. You know, once I hit the 1,000-word barrier, no, this doesn't make sense, or even apply to the subject matter. What am I talking about?
How did I talk about Roger?
Oh, how did this happen? Can you believe Disney VHSs are brought up in this article? I couldn't either. And so I decided not to mention that I wrote this, and I was going to read some of it on the air. I just don't know what.
Well, before you do that, other games, if I understand what you're talking about, have done that too. Where I know Dragon Age Origins, I got an extra Gollum guy because I got it new.
Because you got it new.
I couldn't use him because he was evil.
Premiums. Well, like EA's recently been cutting out multiplayer.
Oh yeah, well what they did was I bought Mass Effect 2 in the store, played it, beat it, and then Carolyn started playing it like 2 weeks ago. But Mass Effect 2 came with a code inside of it that was access to the Cerberus Online thing to get this, that, and whatever. But when she started playing it, even though I bought it, now she's playing it. That's a different Xbox. She had to pay the $10 to download some piece of shit code that lets her.
Oh my God! Thank you for participating, everybody, in our 24-hour marathon. Hopefully, we'll have a video up on Friday. But that was part of the problem because Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Oh God!
We had copies of the game, but if certain things had been installed, that came. We couldn't put that on another Xbox, and we had to figure out which Xbox.
They're tied to different accounts.
They're tied to different accounts, and like we have a lot of Xbox accounts.
The more barriers you put between me and my game, I just won't play it.
A little bit.
Really, there's 1 billion other things I could do besides fuck with your menus and figure out what account and remember my password. Which one was this one? Why does it's the right gamer tag, but it's the wrong account name? Fuck you forever. I will not deal with that shit.
Sort of reading this out of order, but that was. Something had pissed me off. I'd read something on another site where they were chastising people who pirate games. And I've always taken the position, it's not... I don't write to people who buy games through the channels that EA approves. I write to people who like games, and I don't care how they get them.
Yeah, I should probably clarify that when I said I don't understand why people buy used games when the new games drop in price so quickly, I do understand. I just think it's a little bit silly. But I don't honestly care.
Well,
if anyone buys some.
I don't know if I had a good sentence about it, but like in their eyes, there being the companies, someone buying a used game is no different from someone who illegally pirates one. Right?
That's true, because
they don't make any profit out
of
it.
They're playing the game with no money.
And in my eyes, pirates are no more thieves than someone borrowing a game from a friend or renting one at Blockbuster. But
sort of, yeah.
But both result in the same physical loss for the company. And that's part of my problem with the used game debate.
Yeah, it's just the difference is before a person could let, in the 80s, someone could let 1 or 2 other people borrow the game, but now one person can let 6 billion people potentially borrow that game forever.
Sort of, but it's the same aspect that like.
Which is the first argument someone ever made against pirating games.
It creates interest.
I have legal copies of all those ISOs that I downloaded. And the ones I didn't, I deleted within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because that's an actual
It increases
law.
interest. Letting my friend borrow a game, he was never guaranteed to buy the game in the first place. It's not a lost sale because someone played the game who didn't pay you. And part of, hold on, let me start at the beginning. Games Radar has never taken a unified position on the matter because I know we both have varying opinions. We all have varying opinions on this.
I do.
I know you do.
I sort of do.
But as someone who considers games to be part of a sacred collection, which I do.
I do.
I do. They are part of a sacred collection. I personally discourage the practice of trading in simply because it's a good way to get screwed. I like to hold on to my games and everything that comes with them. These are my memories, and I'm that way with everything. Come to my house, open up a copy of Gears of War 2. You'll find an immaculate DLC voucher. Just as you'll find a Crystal Pepsi coupon inside of a Disney Robin Hood VHS from 1991.
Wow!
You'll find all my toys in the box, and all my memories are boring.
So yes, I'm throwing my bias in there, but I'm all too aware
you still
that
really have a Crystal Pepsi voucher.
it was just
I get
just
it.
to date what was in the box.
Yeah, I get it.
But I'm all too aware that being a gamer can be expensive, and more importantly, when it comes to procuring young titles, dusty and completed games are the only form of currency a young gamer has. However, trading back a $60 game for $25, just so places like GameStop can turn around and sell it to another rube for $55, it seems like for a ridiculous profit doesn't sit right with me at all. If for no other reason, then there's no other retailer in the known universe that allow a kid to hawk his worldly possessions for a new Naruto game. Should Walmart start letting children pawn their baseball gloves for candy today, it'd be the front page Fox News scandal tomorrow. Period. I don't know. I don't really understand why that's still allowed.
Because the adults that would report on that story,
it's just a game.
They don't care.
He pawned your copy of Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. What? Well, I don't know. I don't know why you'd encourage this predatory practice. I don't like it. And my qualms rest with the business of selling games. It has nothing to do with the business of making them. As a gamer, your only job is to play and enjoy games. I could personally give a shit how you do it. And this is where I saw a bunch of other sites because Halo Reach was being pirated, and I saw a bunch of people condemning them. They're gamers who want to play the new big game. Why are these people bad? Microsoft has ways of dealing with them. Who cares? Let them pirate. Let them go. I don't. My job is to write about interesting games.
For that one, I would guess.
What?
They have a lot. This is a dumb argument. That's no better than any other argument I would ever have. Only because I'm really not big on pirating games or pirating music or really anything. For whatever reason, I have.
And you're not.
I have a dumbass desire.
It's not a dumbass desire
to always pay for my things.
No, I think compensating your artist is a big part of being involved in your society. That's you should compensate your artists.
But then at the same time, all the people whoever cares so much that they want to pirate Halo Reach right away, I have to feel. On one hand, I feel like a lot of them are going to end up buying it anyway.
Yes.
Because you care so much to be scouring the internet for torrents. You're probably going to end up buying it anyway because you care too much to not have the disc.
You know Microsoft's going to ban you forever.
Yeah.
And you're going to buy another account. You're going to buy another game.
But then also at the same time, it's really, you fucks can't wait 2 more weeks? I don't know. I just can't. That's the other. That's the other side of it.
That I do understand.
Because they have a worldwide launch. If it were my job to coordinate all this shit, and you're trying to look, I want a worldwide launch for this game. It's going to be good. We feel it's better than ODST. They learned from some lessons. Going to put this all out there worldwide, same time. Blah blah blah. Fuck ass is already torning it. They're going to start posting it everywhere. Most of this shit's going to be leaked.
That's what I hate. That here's the ending on YouTube. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you do? There's one thing. If there's one thing I hate in this industry, it's fucking spoilers.
Yeah.
People who spoil shit really fucking bug me. So no spoilers. But I wanted to make it a point because I kept seeing other people take the side of this. You don't need to care about people like THQ and Microsoft.
Right.
And I really, really hate members of the gaming press who make it feel if you pirate, you're stealing from the industry and you're hurting it.
I don't know. I'm kind of two minds about it because on the one hand, it's if I say no, piracy is bad, you shouldn't do that. I'm kind of a fucking hypocrite because I pirated the shit out of everything. I would not know as much about games if I hadn't pirated dozens of PS1 games back in the day.
I know.
What they've done is given you reasons not to do it. You have tons of demos.
Here's the thing. I think if you're a kid, you don't have money, your parents aren't going to buy you games. I wouldn't, I would turn a blind eye to that kind of piracy. If you're somebody like me who has a disposable income and could buy games that they want, but it wouldn't make a big dent in their wallet, it's a person like me has no excuse to pirate.
I disagree, only in that because even as a pirate, it's still a try before you buy attitude.
Yeah, but are you going to buy?
It doesn't matter. Like, if you rented it from Blockbuster and finished it...
Why buy the cow if you can get the milk
If you rented it and finished it, you were not going to buy it anyway. You hurt the industry. You're no different.
They got their money already.
Did they?
Blockbuster bought those copies.
That's true.
So, okay. So Blockbuster...
And they paid extra because the company knew that they'd be making rental fees off
Blockbuster paid that fee, and you paid extra. So, therefore, the game companies didn't receive any revenue from that. So, it doesn't matter. In GameFly... We're going to discourage... GameFly is no different from Pirates.
Yeah, but again, GameFly pays more money to the publishers for the rights to rent.
Look, here's the sentence. Here's the sentence.
You're correct, but
I've always taken...
This doesn't jibe with my thesis.
I've taken great issues when members of the gaming press crap on those who buy used games and don't buy them to the proper channels. It's not up to you to prop up the business models set in place by long-standing publishers to continue making millions of dollars. They can make all the claims they want about piracy, used games, rentals, and whatnot, hurting their business, but I have a feeling putting $50 million into games like This Is Vegas that never come out are a lot larger culprit to a company losing fucking money.
Sure.
You expect us to pay for that too? Do we have to write up? Do we have to compensate companies like Midway for their purchases for $50 million? Because it's the cost of them doing business, isn't it? No, fuck it. And here's the one. Like a lot of people have sent me messages giving me shit about this. So if I seem angry and needing to defend myself, here's why. Once you accept that games are art, you realize that art never receives revenue every time it finds an audience. If libraries, an institution whose sole purpose is to provide cultural experiences to everyone free of charge, started loaning out games, would they be chastised in the same way?
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not. So if games are art, fuck you and your used game argument and your piracy argument.
I buy used paintings all the time.
Whatever. And I didn't even get to finish this as a thought, but I admire what THQ and EA have done as new games that has the multiplayer stuff. That's the one you want to buy. And they're not charging you extra, because what we don't want to see is game stores turn into college bookstores. Which, if you're not in college yet, it's probably the most miserable experience you'll ever have.
That's basically what I feel like...
outside of your AIDS test.
That's what I feel like...
$60 for a paperback? I can't wait to pay for this.
Oh, what they do? They updated a fucking index in the 700th page.
I need to buy a $200 coffee table book.
Great, this book is useless now. Wonderful.
Fantastic.
And not only that, but it dramatically shifted how they make college textbooks, meaning that they have to make one every semester instead of one every couple of years. So now college textbooks are shitty and stupid and needlessly updated and have a giant price attached to them because they're there for new gamers only.
College students.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm starting to get lost in your metaphor.
College textbooks are $120.
Yes.
Because they have to be priced for the minority of people who will buy them new, not the people who will buy them used.
Right.
That's the punishment we're in for, unless what EA and THQ have done. That's a better alternative.
The textbook doesn't cost $50 million to make.
But if they included some online extras...
That's right.
But they do now. It comes with a CD-ROM
you know what?
in the back of it.
Free hat, Elson. Free hat.
I think it was on Penny Arcade. Somebody made an interesting point. That when you buy something used, you kind of expect a certain degradation.
Yes, true.
With everything except video games. So he was saying, it's like, look, this multiplayer thing is just, you're buying a slightly degraded version. And you can, pay the difference to bring it back
even
up
at
to code.
GameStop, like $5 less. That's what I really hate about the $5 less.
Yeah, the $5 less is like, because if you're going to charge and your premium is what is up to this point been a standard part of gameplay.
I sold drugs before. That kind of middlemanning price is fucking barbaric. It's ridiculous. $60 to $25 bumped up to $55.
Yeah,
fucking absurd.
Well, I bought for the 24-hour marathon. I needed to buy an extra copy of Blur for $360, and I was like, well, fuck, I'll just buy the used one because it's just for the office, and who cares? $54.99.
$54.99.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding? This game's been out since May, and kind of notoriously didn't sell too great.
We had a lot of fun with, as it turned out.
And it turned out to be the game that snapped me out of my stupor, and I ended up keeping that copy because it was really fun.
I just started playing that game.
It's Blur
in a house that I'm house sitting. It's the only game sitting there. That and Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Bah.
That's like 20 years old.
You'll never get good at that, Paul. It's too hard.
It's too hard.
That's me.
like
That's
Blur.
me challenging, Paul.
I like Blur because you can shoot giant red orbs of
homing orbs.
Homing orbs.
It's just I love that
Make
it's
your car flip over.
It's just Mario Kart, and that's why it's so
It
fun.
is.
Because
It's just Mario Kart.
I'm
It
ready.
really is.
Like, I don't know.
It doesn't even lie about it. And then like when we were playing people, nobody made hit him with the red shell.
Yeah.
Use the mushroom. Use the mushroom. It's a green symbol with an arrow on it. It couldn't be further from a mushroom, and everybody in the server,
they say.
all 16 people understood it as a fucking mushroom.
And even if you didn't, they'd still use the boost to get through.
Use the boost to get through.
Even still, it's a Nintendo metaphor.
I'll get off of my rant. I didn't get to publish that, but it really, really makes me. It really upsets me.
So, what was your solution?
I think this is I think what THQ and EA are doing are a fantastic solution. You pay $5 to $10 more to get online if you buy it used.
I do
feel the premium they're charging is $0 right now. Just buy it new. Just buy it new like everybody else.
Yeah, I do feel like that's a good middle ground because there has to be something done.
Yes, GameStop's fucking you.
That's I think the most reasonable course of action, just because
Yes.
like it costs them money to maintain these servers.
Those servers, and you playing for free forever is like you have to acknowledge that paying for nothing for things will catch up to the people who are making it.
And that's where I got stuck on the paragraph about
ultimately it has
these
to.
are annual sports games.
On the other hand,
which makes it weirder.
On the other hand, if you say, well, they put out this many copies, they should be expecting to maintain the server infrastructure for that many players.
That is true. I
mean,
could be a
there are no more, except in the case of piracy, there are no more copies than what they put out floating around out there. So, how is this a problem exactly?
Well, what I didn't get around to mentioning was the DRM put in place to fight pirates, which eventually, not being able to make the distinction between used gamers, people who rent, and people who borrow, they're just pirates. Those are all people who'll be afflicted by the DRM. And then given the fact that Ubisoft, that they just ditched, like, that affected everybody. And that hurt the whole game.
Yeah.
It hurt the whole game, like, as their attempt to make their money back. And I just didn't want to see that kind of thing happen. Especially on consoles, which I only buy because I don't have to deal with DRM.
The thing, consoles kind of have built-in DRM.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm completely behind this kind of idea because I don't give a fuck about any of these games' online features in the first place, nor the people who fucking play them. I don't like you. No, but I just think it's a much better resolution than the alternative. I'm really scared of the college textbook scenario. Those are fucking terrible places, dude. You don't want to be involved in that. No. And okay, I bummed
you don't
everybody
want to be
out.
involved in college.
No, not at all. I bummed everybody out. But now
a few more years. Oh, I touched the microphone.
A few more years? How many years have you been in college, mister?
It's gonna be. I mean, everything's gonna be. You're just gonna download your games, and everybody's gonna have their Kindles and get the textbooks that way.
And they'll have more control over it. But then there won't be such a thing as used games.
Well, if it weren't for weren't for the book barons keeping Big Book in business,
Big Book. Are you part of Big Book? Are you in the pocket of OG Readmore? We're gonna do another. Brett, would you like to name this story that came into our inboxes? We're gonna do another episode of Games Radar's Playhouse.
Oh dear.
I believe you all have lines. Brett, this came to us by Master Sword.
I don't have any lines.
369. Well, you're not in the story.
Oh, I see.
We're just lucky enough that Paul's here, and Paul.
I have a lot of lines.
I need you to read this as dryly as possible.
I've never seen this before.
I want your telethon voice. I want the Paul Ryan voice.
Oh, good.
I know and love, and this is serious. Like nobody. No.
Yeah, of course it's serious.
Yeah. So we can't make fun of this while it's being read.
No, Brett. I would like you to name this because this piece does not have a name other than erotic fan fiction.
Is it the one that I sent you guys earlier?
Yes.
Jesus Christ, I don't know.
Jesus Christ, I don't know by Master Sword.
I'm not sure I can say this line.
How about One Froggy Evening? No, dude, we're doing
How
this.
about Lovey Mugginkins?
You didn't help. You didn't help me. You didn't help me interview Tim Schafer today. You have to read these lines.
Fuck.
You have like 4.
This is my forfeit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but one of them is the worst line ever.
All right. Let's set the mood a little.
I'm not going to read ahead. Just tell me when to go.
How about Triforced Sex?
Ooh, I like it.
Because there's 3 of you.
Triforced Entry.
Triforced
Entry by Master Sword 369.
Oh dear.
Paul Ryan, kick it off.
Midnight. Chris Antisto's apartment. An aura of bliss and warmth fills the humble shack. Empty glasses of wine cover the surfaces of Chris's apartment. from the floor to the leopard skin recliner. A
You
path of
taste,
clothing into the bedroom, as clear a path as a yellow brick road. They must have walked this very path, Chris Antista and his newfound partner, stepping over a pair of Mickey Mouse underwear. We are in the bedroom. Chris lays on his bed like a delicate flower, naked. And standing above him is none other than Michael Reperez.
Michael?
Chris whispers shyly.
I think it's time. I think it's time to take our relationship to the next level.
Michael's eyes grew wide. His mouth watered at the thought of going beyond the mere tasting of marinara and cheese, but to take a bite of the famous Chris Antista pizza. Within seconds, they were locked together, connected not by only genital, but by true love.
Wait,
Michael said.
We'll need some lubrication.
As Michael proceeded to pour Wild Man brand hot sauce all over himself, Chris licked his lips in desire.
Now come to me, you crazy animal.
He yelled.
Oh. Okay, let me do that over. Now come to me, you crazy animal!
He yelled, and Michael did. He tackled Chris to the floor. In mere seconds, Michael was breathing heavily and Chris was screaming in ecstasy. Releasing a scream reminiscent of Dragon Ball Z, Michael ejaculated upon Chris's shivering body. Drops of semen were suspended in Chris's chest hair like dew on a leaf.
Michael?
Yes, Lovey Mugginkins?
I know our love is illegal, but it's true, isn't it?
Yes, Chris.
Michael said.
Forever and ever.
The end.
I have two things to say in response to this story. Number one, Chris could do better than me.
No.
Number two, I've seen Chris's ass. I would not fucking ass that hairy. I'm sorry.
I'm on bottom?
I think that was pretty clearly established, like right in the beginning.
Wait, okay. No, it's not. I'm not bending over, but you shot all over my chest, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true. But, you know, I'm standing over you, so it's kind of implied that
kind of the way I see
I'm
it.
the top in this relationship.
Well, you're older.
That's true. Also hairier. Well, not really.
No.
The most uncomfortable part of that is, as the one with no lines, I had to just sit and listen to it.
Yeah.
I couldn't even I get to be part of this.
And this wasn't in the podcast the last time I was here.
And Brett Elson as the fly on the wall.
Basically, I watch and jerk off while you guys you guys read.
Now, write a story that's like the side story. That's, you know, what's Brett doing while this is happening, like in Chris's closet.
I think this is when I had the stylus in my butt.
Christ.
Oh my God! All right, 1 hour. We're almost at the 1 hour. 1 hour thing. People want Paul Ryan to read some stuff.
I just did that.
No. We got more, and then we have community segment, phone calls, game deals, probably an ending song. I have to go take a dick shit. Let's get out of here.
How did people know I was here?
I'm Joel McHale from Blank Blank, and you're listening to TalkRadar.
The challenge is Metroid. The power is Nintendo. Defend the planet Xephus against the evil Mother Brain. It's survival or destruction. Do battle or die. Metroid only from Nintendo.
I'd buy that for $1.
The iTunes reviews are in.
Twishart says,
a wonderfully pungent gaming cluster shard.
Kyrian BC says,
spawned from the heavens, absolute brilliance on so many levels.
Melzul says,
pants crappingly hilarious. And Game Dad says,
the constant belching and F-bombs make the podcast feel immature.
Get over here!
TalkRadar for the win.
Hey, does anybody want to listen to the rest of this motherfucking podcast?
Yeah!
Oh, because because I don't like rock band's music this week. Disturbed. We have more Mafia 2 soundtrack. Yes.
What were the Disturbed songs?
Another Way to Die.
No.
The Animal.
No.
Asylum, Brett. Tell me you're in with Asylum.
No.
Tell me you bought 1 ticket to the Asylum.
I bought 2 tickets to the Asylum.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Wait, we were having a discussion. We were late getting in here because Michael was busy doing the important work of men, making Mike Grimm's Hot Wheels fuck one another.
Yes.
and I said that to Brett, and Brett's like, "Man, that's not cool. That's not cool."
I still laughed because they were cars.
But you know it's funny, and you know it's cool.
All the
it's
kids
especially cool. I mean,
you know it's cool, but I wanted to see your reasoning behind it.
I'm just curious to see if he notices it before he hears this,
which he won't.
Yeah, I just the cars I thought were funny because who gives a shit about Hot Wheels, really?
Other than Mike Grimm, they're his fucking action figures.
No, I mean like
right next to his Charmander and Ryu, he's got like tons. Like
probably gonna get pissed off at me. He's gonna go, "You could have scratched the enamel on this, motherfucker!
Look at this."
I get it, but
you have any idea how much this is worth?
This is from Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and this is the Donkey Kong monster truck that currently.
Oh, he knows his cars.
Can't have anything nice.
He'll have. he has. I'm sure the ones he has there are either for specific reasons or a personal connection. But for me, for like
quack super horn.
Oh, that's what the sound a car makes.
I think we all love Amy the bitch the most.
Amy the bitch.
Amy the bitch. Can we just get to that one?
No idea that was in the phylum.
I don't like when people make toys fuck because because there's like a thing about toys that even when you buy them as an adult, so I have a shitload of Marvel figures all over my desk.
I know,
and we've made them fuck on a couple of occasions.
You guys have made them have like.
I've never touched your action figures.
It's gone as far back as when I was here.
Yeah, I mean, just like buried one back in the crowd, like these two just turn them a little bit, make it look like they're boning, and notice it right away.
Every day a little closer.
Not cool. Not cool.
I would notice because there's a
penetration.
There's a visual snapshot that must be met every morning, and if it's not, then something's out of line.
And it's not because we taped a full-size dildo to the front of one of them.
No, the thing is, it's like
it wasn't because we painted the rhino flesh-colored.
No, it was like I just don't. There's something that's like childlike. And there's an innocence to action figures. It's like when you would get them as a kid, and having them fuck is just like taking that away. It's like raping a boy or something.
But we're Lord, what? That's you never grow out of that. But
you don't want raping a boy.
No, never. Yeah. Not once. But we're adults.
I know.
No, but I don't have an excuse. We're adults, Elston. So yes, we have every right to make action figures fuck in the office.
I get it, and I get it's funny.
We've got that Duke Nukem and Zealot that are regularly fucking on Henry's desk.
I find
for
that
whatever
funny because both those figures are crappy, so I think that's funny.
So it's all about the caliber of the character.
It's a little bit of both, but I don't want my toys having sex. They are all asexual, and they mean nothing to each other. But
you don't know that.
I left in 06. When I left to visit home in 06, I came back, and I didn't have as many as I did now at work. And I don't know. It seemed mostly Dan was behind it. Ambrick.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't here for this.
And he made every single thing on my desk fuck each other.
And
then
I remember that.
And then took huge high-res pictures of all of it and emailed them to me.
Dan Ambrick, editor-in-chief of Activision's Apologies. Dan Ambrick.
And I'll give you some of these pictures for the page on TalkRadar. Like, he took pictures, and he just put them in a folder called Sex Toy Story. And it's all my figures that I had at the time. Like, and the dumbest one is Dupe from X-Force. Just shoved up Galactus's crotch. It's just there's no finesse at all. It's just dirt. There he goes, right on his dick. And one of them is like Ninja from Metal Gear's sword in Batman's ass. It's like, it doesn't even make sense.
You're right.
Cut his butt open.
Oh, you are right. That is not funny.
And then the worst was in high school when I had all these next generation.
Here where it comes.
When I had all these next generation dolls that all have clothes on them, their uniform.
In high school, people didn't.
Dude, it's Star Trek, man. It's so cool. Next Generation was so cool.
someone put something in Geordie LaForge's
one of my friends grabs it and he like takes Picard off the desk and he's like, I'm like, don't do it. I know what you. And he unvelcros the back very slowly and is like pulling him down around his shoulders like and like having him walk over to Data like, oh, Mr. Data. It just has them like make out very slowly. And then I'm getting actually...
What's the protocol of man-ass?
Sir, I don't understand. And
Sir, that seems highly illogical unless you're talking about pleasure.
Which I cannot feel. So stop! No, I got really mad. And to this day, if he ever sees those Star Trek figures anywhere, he'll just immediately start taking all their clothes off.
Whatever, dude. You're the one who bought the male action figures with removable clothing.
They were Star Trek figures.
I can't even do that because he's my boss now. He can fire me for making his action figures fuck.
Now my weapon, my return fire was put so many there it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
It's so crowded and the disaster potential is so
challenge.
High. Is so high.
I was almost behind you because when I was a little boy I won these 2 yellow mice at the state fair and
this is boring.
Well, and then I figured out I could
make the mice fuck?
Yeah.
Make them 69?
Yes. And it turns out that really, really turned me on. I'd never done that before. And I got so aroused, I jerked off to myself making stuffed animals fuck.
Oh, they were stuffed.
Did I say I won this at a church fair? This is church related. So it.
Wow.
So yeah, like
what age was this?
Probably like 7. 19 or no. No. It was probably
32,
like 11 or 12 or some shit. Probably when I grew pubic hair. 5.
Anytime someone says a disparaging story about them sexually, add 2 years to the date they give you. To the age they give you.
Fine. 5, 7. I was the ripe old age of 7.
No, I was thinking you're probably like 15.
It's the only guy with a raging hard on in the kiddie pool. Just sitting there like a stalactite. I'm done. Game deals.
Video games.
Game deals.
Do as I say. Save a little money for a rainy day.
Beaner.
What are you buying, Chris?
What am I buying this week?
You missed the sound.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, where is? Oh, there it is.
What are you buying?
I see. Yeah. It was not complete. Oh my God! Guess this. DJ Hero. Bundle $20. Toys R Us.
That is fantastic price.
I think the Tony Hawk Ride thing isn't somewhere in uniform with that.
That should be $1.
Also, Toys R Us is having its buy one get one half off sale on titles $59.95 or some shit.
Right.
So, but still good stuff.
Buy one get one half off.
Mm-hmm. Buy one get one 50% off.
That's good. It's so weird. I used to buy all my games at Toys R Us because I worked there, and then now I never even see one unless I'm back home.
The Toys R Us?
Yeah.
I was almost embarrassed. Like, I wanted someone to take me there during lunch.
Yeah, because like those deals are always good, and when they do the buy two get one free, like that's a great time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess I did do it last year online because the website finally caught up with the store.
Yeah, Toys R Us is pretty good with the website falling online, but I do believe this is brick and mortar. You have to go. You got to go. Amazon is. I saw Uncharted 2 earlier, which I had a ridiculous amount of fun in multiplayer during the 24-hour marathon.
Pretty fun.
Thanks to everybody for that. There should be so much footage of us dancing in that game. Uncharted 2 for $36 on Amazon. Chrono Trigger DS $13. Remember how we said Square games would never drop? They have, and $13 is a fucking good price for fucking Chrono Trigger on a new system, newish system. Yakuza 3 also $34 on Amazon, and Amazon is apparently selling the collector's edition 360 collector's editions of both Splinter Cell Conviction and Arkham Asylum for $39.
Do you remember what your predicted date for Splinter Cell coming to PS3
was? We didn't pass it, but it would have been September 12th, and I feel like there would have been an announcement.
Yeah. Well, there was that leak.
Based on math, I was right.
Potential Splinter Cell collection that's been rumored or whatever it is. The HD remake of the
but even if they announced it tomorrow, it wouldn't make September.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it'll make fall holiday. Oh, man. Wait a second.
Are you ready? Are you ready for some football?
I might be. Madden,
only one laughing at
Madden PS360 at Target. Madden 11 is $49.99.
I can't believe it.
coming up on Sunday. On Sunday,
really
not yet.
$20 off.
I know.
I can't believe it.
Either. I can't. I really.
That'll clear up the sinuses.
Also, and this is one. See, I don't hate fucking used games. Jesus Christ. GameFly's used game sale. 360. They have Alien vs. Predator for $14. Final Fantasy 13, $24. Bayonetta, $14.99. Bioshock 2, $16.99.
Wow, I recently beat Bioshock 2. It's totally worth that price.
Oh yeah. Wii Mad World, $12.99. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, $29.99. Barf. Shut up. But they're good prices on good games. PS3. Oh shit. Yakuza 3, $24.99. Used Assassin's Creed 2 on PS3, $17.99. Ratchet & Clank: A Crack in Time, $19.99. God of War 3, $21.99.
Damn.
Yeah. Woo. And also Bioshock 2 on PS3, $16.99. Paul Ryan, which one are you going to buy?
I'm buying Bioshock 2.
Attaboy.
Take my advice.
What are you?
Do as I say.
What are you?
Save a little money for a rainy day.
What are you buying? Buy it.
I have a question.
What's that, Paulie?
I can't ask questions when I listen to the podcast.
You can't.
But I'm here.
Ask away.
Yeah. Who puts the game deals together? Is it you or Henry Gilbert?
Oh, it's me, usually.
It's you?
Henry does send me them occasionally.
I figured he would have his finger on that all the time.
Henry he stepped into the office today with 3 packages from Amazon.
They're all comic books.
He got them all. I think he even bought the Comic-Con special edition, the shit they hand you for free when you pick up your badge. I think he bought a special edition copy of that.
He wouldn't open his package.
I'm like, Henry, what'd you get today? Oh man, you wouldn't believe it. I got this DualShock 3 controller. Why did you buy another controller for your PS3 which you don't play and I'm not saying this is an insult. No one will be at my house playing PS3 single player split screen. It came with Infamous for an extra 10, 15. All right, that was a good deal, but you didn't need that. Oh man,
yeah, it seems to be like that's a good deal, but did you need it?
Yeah, you didn't need that. Somebody would let you borrow Infamous and a controller.
I think Henry needs it.
He might need it.
Don't enable him.
Don't enable him.
Henry, when you hear this, buy all the stuff you need.
Need more things.
Yes, need more stuff.
I just love that it's always the joke of how many Amazon packages he can stack on his desk at a time. And literally the only day of the week he wasn't in this week, there were 3 boxes on his desk all day.
Yeah, if we can't see him open them on a daily basis.
Oh, God. It makes me want to start ordering shit because I'm like, I want to get deliveries every day.
I had some nice messages from some readers. Julie P's good. Can you believe it? Oh. She messaged us.
Really?
I just finished listening to TalkRadar 15, I got to say. I'm a huge fan. I love what you guys are doing with the show.
Wait, 15 or 115?
115.
Oh, okay.
Case, I've been steadily listening since episode 47. Keyboard Cat got him hooked. Remember Keyboard? It seems like so long ago when
I know,
discovered
Keyboard
that meme.
Cat. That actually came up. That was the with the TalkRadar Prosve, and hey, we're going to pull to the back of the bus.
You guys started that, right?
What?
Keyboard Cat?
I think so.
Yeah.
We helped run it into the ground very quickly.
I made that cat in Little Big Planet. And me. All right. I have been steadily listening since episode 47. There are so many small touches that make your podcast stick out from the rest. But one that I don't think anyone's ever remarked on is the background music during the show. I'll have that.
That does take a while.
Somebody's remarked this. A couple of people, but I'm glad that I'm really the whole point that it's there is the message he sent. That it makes a connection. Case in point, during TalkRadar 115, you guys are talking about Tetris being a great launch game, and all the while in the background you have a couple songs playing from, correct me if I'm wrong, the Nintendo 64 game Tetrisphere.
Oh, Tetrisphere was good.
I'm not a huge game music fan, but that soundtrack from that game is one of my favorites of all time that helps me draw me into the show so much more. I don't know if this is something you do so during editing or while the podcast is recording, but as a small detail, it definitely goes a long way. So huge props to whomever puts those in. I happen to put that one in just because if you lined up Tetris's music together, it equals 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's really short.
So I went well, Tetrisphere has cool music.
Yeah.
Boom, Tetrisphere music, and I remember Twitch Art's oh, Tetrisphere. like just like the reverence over Tetrisphere
it
music.
Is weird.
Like that's why it's worth it to me.
It is. It's such a bizarre game that at the time I felt like nobody was playing. But one of my friends had it, and I was like, this game is so cool. But I would play it for like 2 minutes and then get immediately sick of it. But the music was so good, I just kept playing it over and over again.
The music there is exemplary.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's sort of the point. Like, every time I've been approached by a boss, how do you make this faster so you spend less time? Take out the music. Like that. The music's very important to me.
I do.
Very,
the
very
music
important.
ends up taking so much time because when I used to edit them, like third segments, and when I would have to edit them when you were gone, it was like, I want to find the music to find this exact thing we're talking about, but then just adding it takes some time. But I know that somebody listening really appreciates that Mega Man 1 Fireman music in there because they're like, oh, Fireman, I get it.
Yeah. That's the point. That's the point.
That is totally the point.
It's not even at this point relevant to what we're talking. You know, whatever. Community segment, we're going to reward you as the community. Games at our forums. Paul Ryan was on somehow.
Somehow it leaked out.
Paulie, I want you to sit right here.
He was here because I didn't want to spoil the surprise.
I didn't want to spoil the surprise either.
Well, you didn't know I was going to be here until couldn't have been more than yesterday when you asked me.
Well, I asked you earlier, and you said okay. I had no idea you'd actually come in and stick to it. People wanted to read dryly these messages, like to say I was breastfed by bears.
Oh, good.
Hold on. This is the only one I ever turned into a promo.
Looks in no way demeaning.
Yeah, it's not demeaning at all. It's it's this character. This character you've done.
You haven't entire seen generation's ringtones.
You haven't seen the.
I hadn't talked to you
yet.
I hadn't talked to you in so long. Like I forgot. Like the Paul Ryan impression is an impression of a character you essentially do.
TalkRadar. This show am good.
So
I was reading something there, I think.
In that vein, you were reading something there. People wanted you to read these. So say the names of the person who wrote it down, and then say it in your driest accent possible.
Try my best. Graboids, are you ready? Ready for some football. Zabu-san, I love you, Chris Antista. I honestly love you. That was hard because there's 2 exclamation points.
Yeah, I
don't know how to do that.
You don't honestly love me.
Well, moving on. All the good names
are taken.
Oh,
we're taken.
Yes.
We're taken.
Ver-atus.
Okay, that guy said this. Pray to Allah, douchebag. Islam is the light. Christianity makes my tummy hurt, etc., etc. Turbo said, I like horse jelly on my belly. Turbo again said, put your foot around my foot when you foot me foot by foot. Sabu-san again, I put my hand up on your hip when I dip, you dip, we dip. Ventanger said, I am a robot who turns into a truck, and I find no levity in this situation. Black Element 17. Now, Dobby. You want me to read the whole thing?
Sure.
You highlighted that part. Okay. Hey, kids, it's time to play Hide the Pickle, or possibly this part of the fanfic 30HS.
No, it's too much. Too much.
I've got, I could keep on going.
Well, somebody want to read lyrics from this song, and I want to see if you can do it. Read it in the dry Paul Ryan telethon voice.
All right, 5'10", Brother Panda. Fly me to the moon, and let me pray among the stars. Let me see what sprung is right on Jupiter and Mars.
I've never seen it spelled before.
That was it was difficult because those aren't words.
Oh, these are all good though. From I Jizzlots.
Oh, I Jizzlots. My penis is an explosion of love and assholes. I can fly up to 30 feet using only my ejaculation. Open up, here comes my cock. My favorite drink is my ass fluids. These are going to be sound bites that haunt me forever. That's only half.
These will be played in public when you are running for president. You realize that.
Those 4 stars mean fuck, by the way.
They mean, that's where I got tripped up.
You're welcome.
Fuck me in the balls while sucking on my shit. I masturbated watching a recording of my own birth. Don't put hot sauce on your penis. Put hot sauce on my penis.
Who was that from?
That was I Just Lost. I stopped in the middle.
You put that in lot.
The 4 stars confused me.
Jeez.
Lava Lamp, thank you, said, rape my face, then my butt. This is all from just a couple of days of, wow. And Hate Breeder, finally, revive me. Oh my god, it's a corpser. I'm Batman. Well, there's 2 pages.
Well, there's not much. There's not much.
All right, we'll keep. I've got time. Buster Shart.
His last one is my favorite.
Has anyone really been far even? Pardon me. Has anyone really been far even as decided to use even go want to do look more like? Yes, I did read that, and I didn't make any mistakes. Yes, I have had sexual relations with a PlayStation 2.
This is my favorite.
I do not exist.
Do it quietly. All right.
I do not exist.
I do not exist.
Do not exist. Chris is trying really hard to pick everybody's, but it's just...
I want you to read this as slow as humanly possible.
I'm saying these names wrong, though. Patent said, Choma. Oh, karma. Chameleon is the last part of it. It is spelled in my Choma, I think. I got it right. I'm sorry. And Chebaraska. Me love you long time. I am excited. I am overcome with joy. Chris Antista smells like pizza. That's pretty funny. Which I've said before, I think.
Wait a minute. Wow, I didn't see. That's a long sentence, but I may need you to do that.
All right.
Skip. Well, you can read that one.
John Rabbit. Centipedes? In my vagina?
All right, and this is from Juice and Pancakes.
All right. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. Yeah. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance
upon thee.
I expect this to be remixed by the time I get back to Boston so that I can play all my... I don't know why.
So you can impress all your friends?
Yeah, I can impress my friends.
This is in quotes, so it's not you. By John Dagger.
John Dagger. I love to wear women's undergarments, not because it gives me any real pleasurable sensation, but because I like the idea of wearing something that would make my mother jealous.
You become like the male GLaDOS.
Oh, you may want to try that one from Phazon 117.
Oh, I know that one. Phazon 117. Bone saw is ready.
Okay, we're done. We're done here.
All right. I'm sorry to everyone we didn't have time for.
I'll read this one from Afro Extreme, just because he's a good boy.
Afro Extreme is one badass motherfucker.
He'll appreciate that. See?
I hope so.
See?
This podcast is for fans.
It is. I can't really imagine it for the rest of the public. Yeah. Question of the week from last week? Sure, we want to do that?
Yeah, question of the week last week from GamesRadar.com/forums.
What was the question of the week last week?
Last week.
Oh, your summertime game.
Question 115. What's a game that ate up all your vacation time?
Ooh.
A game that really you identify strongly with a vacation sensation.
Paul, do you have one? Did you use your entire vacation to play something?
I'm thinking really hard. I did. I spent an entire summer playing Neverwinter Nights.
Wow.
You know, they just announced a new one.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah. It was me and we were still doing a local area network at that time.
We call them LANs now.
LANs now. Yeah.
You're still in
robot
what they are? the question of the week, what was it? The summertime gaming, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Fishow753 said, during Christmas break this year, I played Dragon Age Origins for 27 hours straight. I ignored all family members who were visiting my house, including my grandfather, who died 4 days after he came to visit.
Wow.
I was so obsessed with beating the game, I didn't know that he had died until my parents told me so on the way to his funeral. Take that, Grandpa. That's what he gets for not being Dragon Age.
What a legacy to leave behind. Like, I was done in by...
My grandkids love...
we are all destined for that fate, by the way.
Corsair89 has done something admirable that I'll never be able to do. Corsair89, this summer, I've been going through every numbered Final Fantasy game in order. It originally started as a way to work up to Final Fantasy 13 before it came out, but I got distracted for a few months at a time between games. The entire summer has pretty much been spent beating Final Fantasy 6, 7, and recently 8. I'm on Disc 2 of Final Fantasy 9. Boom! Beat that as far as a gaming summer.
Damn,
Shit!
He's going to have a tough time when he gets up to 11.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Good luck beating that, buddy.
Combat Cat 120. In 2008, in intense anticipation for Fallout 3, I decided to download and play Fallout 2 during my summer vacation. Little did I know that I was about to waste my entire summer. There was something about the combat, though, punching and kicking rad scorpions to death just didn't feel right. When at last I was out in the wasteland, my obsessive-compulsive needs took effect, and I spent day and night trying to finish every quest in town and reading walkthroughs. Needless to say, I was addicted to Fallout 2. I had to restart the game over a few times. Once after patching the game, I couldn't play my unpatched save game anymore, and another time I had gotten rid of an item before releasing. It was crucial to the story and had no backup save, and I made a stupid mistake. Finally, after 1,000 reloads and restarts, I finally finished the story at the end of my summer break. I now despise all old PC Fallout games and all RPGs which utilize the turn-based combat mechanic. Fallout 3 was great, though. All is forgiven.
I love Fallout 2.
Yeah, I know you do.
That's all I'll say.
I know you do. Oh, my computer's going dead. Soapy says the year 1993. The place, Myrtle Beach. My parents and I were on vacation. As a respectable gamer, I of course brought along a handheld. Unfortunately, I chose my Game Gear instead of my Game Boy.
Oh, you poor man.
Oof. Oof. Also, I forgot to bring games. Whoops-a-daisy. Seeing as how it was cold and breezy when we arrived, I thought it would be a good idea to go to the amusement park. Of course, this being my first time ever to a beach, my parents were excited to see me smiling, swimming, building sandcastles, and looking for seashells. Weather be damned. None of which would come to pass. Not on that vacation. Not ever. Anyway, my first day on the beach was spent bobbing up and down in the cold, murky South Carolina water. And I've been to Myrtle Beach. It's fucking miserable.
I've been. It wasn't too bad.
I hated it. I had a really bad time there. Really? In like the late summer, totally cloudy. Like you couldn't swim anywhere. The water was totally flat. It was like a shitty lake.
I went in September. It was pretty good.
This September?
No, a couple Septembers ago.
All right. Spent the South Carolina murky water dodging empty beer cans and who knows what else. After probably no longer than an hour, I emerged from the chilly ocean to find that my pasty white nerd flesh had been thoroughly seared. I was shivering, sunburned, and miserable. I was the 8-year-old equivalent of fuck this and went back to my hotel room. After such a poor outing, my mom took me to a place she knew I would enjoy, an arcade, and I can't really believe this is the name of the arcade, but this is an emphasis.
Okay.
The Gay Dolphin Arcade. The Gay Dolphin... It would have just barely passed in the 70s. The Gay Dolphin Arcade, to be exact. We had a blast there, playing games and winning tickets. After a few hours of this, we went to the counter where you could trade your tickets for Troll Dolls or Power Ranger stickers or some shit like that. I spent several minutes looking behind the dude working there at all the shitty prizes to pick from. None too excited about any of them. However, something below caught my eye. My gaze shifted downward, and to my utter delight, underneath the glass counter I had been leaning on the whole time were video games. Video games as far as the eye could see. Nice. Well, maybe not as far as the eye could see, but there were a lot of them. As fate would have it, the one game I could afford with my tickets was a Game Gear game. What Game Gear game would you recommend, Paul? Paul has Sonic.
Axe Battler.
Ninja
Gaiden.
You're close.
Strider.
Game Gear game. Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing.
Oh, I was pretty close.
You were really close. Actually, I couldn't quite afford it, but the dude was nice enough to give it to me anyway. I had such a bad time on the beach that I refused to go back out there ever. There really isn't much else to do on the beach besides the beach.
Money well spent, Mom and Dad.
And my parents definitely weren't going to fund an entire week of arcade playing and amusement park visits, so outside of miniature golf or eating at a restaurant, I spent the rest of my vacation immersed in the venerable Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing.
That's one thing I want to know. What the fuck is it with Myrtle Beach and miniature golf? Like, every fucking block in that town has a miniature golf course.
How did you like that story, Elston?
Oh, I wasn't here.
Oh, okay. Daisy Kibi, I spent a good chunk of this summer playing Disgaea 2, right?
Oh, wow.
We're all Disgaea fans here. We're all Disgaea fans of the buildings.
Disgaea 2.
Mm-hmm. Me too. After finally getting a chance to play it, the idea of getting my dudes to level 9999 with stats maxing out to 40 million and being able to level up my items and unlocking more classes had me so entranced I could not stop playing except for sleeping. I would eat with one hand while playing the game with the other. And if I ever needed to relieve myself, I would cast a spell with a stupidly long animation and rush to the bathroom next to my bedroom. As of this posting, my highest leveled character is Rosalind at around level 500. I've still got 8,000 more levels to go this summer.
My God.
Happy face emoticon.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Strangle Me said, quite simply, in the summer of 1995, I went on vacation in Puerto Rico and played. Anybody want to guess? 1995, Elston Date Master. You're going to kick yourself for not getting this. Close. It was Uniracers. Uniracers. And I loved every second of it. All I did in that fucking vacation was try and win those amazingly fun races. I love that game so much.
It's a really interesting game. It's pretty good.
It is. It is. And sticking by my pledge to not read new user comments, because I ignored a couple of elongated, pornographic, Lizzie vagina-based new users this week. But here's who looks legit to me: Mr. Duracraft, Cardinal, Name Slut, Buttercup for President, Don Nazi. I really like Don Nazi, which is why I decided to read his response. It was Christmas, and I just got a brand new Nintendo. This is the games you wasted your vacation on.
Right.
It was Christmas, and I had just got a brand new Nintendo 64 and one game, Pokemon Snap.
Oh, yes.
We left to visit some family in New York, and the day after I opened my presents, so I didn't have much time to play it. But then I was struck by a sudden genius. I would bring it in the car with me, and by using a power converter and a small TV, I could play it for an entire 15-hour car ride.
God.
Somehow I spent the entire week, not including travel time, trying to take pictures of all them Pokemons. But I did it.
Wow.
I got the Gravelers dancing, that fucking Gyarados and Mew. Gyarados. Other new users, Gaming Freak, Batboy11, who I remember from the Gaming Marathon.
I do too, yeah.
Big ups, Maximus
Welcome.
Time, Halo Reach Around, The Blind Gamer, Raging Freedom Boner, Link09, I Poop Awesomeness. Whatever, I love that name.
I saw a lot of Persona 3 and Persona 3 Portable on this list.
Me too, which I just started playing, and I'm so fucking angered by on the PSP. I can't believe it.
Myrtle Beach.
And what might be my favorite name, because I don't get it at all, Caribbean Paradox. I really like it.
Yeah, that is. I was like, what? Is that an anime?
Bermuda Triangle? Sexy Josh, the Doom Man, the Kielbasa Ninja, and Dirty Erect Lovelance, new users on GamesRadar.com. All right, question of the week. Question of the week, which I'm taking inspiration from Elston's. I don't even know how to put a word to your opinion on Metroid Other M, but I know you're a giant Metroid fan.
Oh my God! You know, I have 3 Zelda tattoos with about 12 more on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was this close, making a gesture here with thumb and index finger very close to each other. This close to them all being Metroid tattoos. And I had a couple picked out already, but then I ended up deciding with Zelda. So Metroid is very near and dear to me.
And I will say, if Metroid hits, or if TalkRadar hits #1 on the iTunes podcast charts, I will get the tattoo you designed of Mega Man crucified on a cross.
Oh,
I
really?
Yes, I will totally do that. Well, if it happens before the end of 2010, I will definitely do that.
I was thinking of getting another one this fall anyway.
We could do it together.
Jumping?
It's Mega Man jumping with his hands nailed to the cross. He looks kind of happy about it, which is great.
He's dying for your sins.
Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't mind.
But he's got like 6 lives left. So
yeah, exactly. He's got to continue in an E-tank. He's going to get down. Based on your appraisal of Metroid Other M, I wanted to see what's an entry in a series that you like that you consider a very oddball entry. You don't have to hate it.
Right, you like the franchise, but you don't necessarily like this game.
Yeah, something about it, like it's in the middle somewhere, and it doesn't resonate with you the same as the rest of the series.
Yeah, and this is distinct from our prior question of the week for those of you looking at the wiki, which is a surprising number of you are, and I'm very happy that the TalkRadar wiki is as updated and as robust as it is.
Some anonymous person keeps writing stupid shit about Lizzie, and
well, yeah, there's that.
It's dealing with lies on it and mean things.
I've seen a couple things that are supposed to be about my date recollection, and a couple of the date things are wrong about me being wrong. And some of them are wrong about me being right. Said GoldenEye came out in May 2000. That was Perfect Dark, not GoldenEye. I would have never said GoldenEye came out in May of 2000. That's silly.
Ridiculous.
Anyway, this is distinct from the previous question of the week that was what's your least favorite game in your favorite franchise? This is just kind of series that you like, and there's that oddball game that maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but it's the one that just really sticks out from the rest.
I'm with it.
Because Other M is definitely like that. It's an action game, half very cutscene driven action, story.
This jumped to my mind. It's sort of an easy one, but Prince of Persia: Warrior Within.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't dislike the game, but it was at the time it was so far off from what I had wanted.
Yeah.
And no, this was last week when I did Game Music of the Day, and I did a Prince of Persia song. I did a Prince of Persia song for Game Music of the Day. It was Healing Grounds. I'll play it now.
Oh, the 2008 Prince of Persia.
The 2008 Prince of Persia.
I loved that one.
And that had two, the soundtrack, the album cover has two composers listed. And the MP3 has two composers listed in there. And I typed it in, composers, Einon, something or other, Stewart, something or other. I got an email from someone who represents one of them.
Oh yeah.
One of them has done all the Ubisoft Prince of Persia soundtracks. One of them did Dragon Age and Fallout as well. He's like,
Tom Salta wasn't one of the people.
He's like, my client did that one. Einon did that. Stewart didn't do it. It's like if you emailed me and asked, Garfunkel wrote that Simon and Garfunkel song. He's like, I'd appreciate if you credit him otherwise, and they'd worked together before. But they worked together on Two Thrones because one of them worked on Warrior Within.
Right.
And they both had to create opposing melody. I thought that was kind of nice. They had, for the Light and Dark Princes, they worked together. And then they worked together on Prince of Persia 2008. I thought that was kind of cute. That's my story from working here. Oddball game.
For me...
Crash Team Racing.
CTR, man.
Mm-hmm.
What? No, I've never played any Crash games somehow. For me, it was I love my Ace Combat.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there's stuff like Ace Combat Advance, and who cares? But
Rosgrees.
Oh, Rosgrees 5 is really good, despite the stupid story gimmicks of that. But Ace Combat 3 is really the one that it's such a bizarre game. 1 and 2 were very much modern jets.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4, 5, and 6 are all kind of modern jets, but in a neo-futuristic, faux-futuristic, we're using modern-day jets, but, there's always a flying fortress with lasers or some kind of crazy science fiction element to it. But 3 was, just super far future. It's called Electrosphere.
Was it at the end of a console cycle?
It's at the end of the PS1 cycle, so it's on PS1. It's... a year before the PS2 comes out. I actually don't really know 3 well at all because I've only played it long enough working Radar to take screens of it for an Ace Combat retrospective I did in 2007, which is itself 3.5 years old. But the planes aren't licensed planes from today. They're all super futuristic planes with skin molded over them. So they have
planes.
So they have joints and they have a layer over them, and something about that just didn't sit with me. So I just never played it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I played 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, the PSP one. I'm about to review the next PSP one. But for 3, it's like, and when I did finally play it, I was like, actually, this is pretty good. I don't dislike it at all, but it's so bizarre. It's the only one in the series that's like that. It's like super futuristic, way far in the science fiction, all out the ass, where all the other ones are like semi-grounded in real life and kind of in this, like, this could theoretically happen today kind of thing.
Ace Combat
3, man.
Paulie, you got one?
I got a couple.
Sweet.
But,
let me hear them all.
Say one.
I want to hear them all.
Well, the first one was the classic one. I like Link, or the old NES one.
Zelda 2?
Zelda 2. The only reason I thought of that is because a while ago Tyler Nagata posted a link to Link, but it was a 3D remade version of it.
Oh, nice.
Where you could kind of play on your PC, and I played that again, and it was pretty awesome.
Zelda 2 is really good, but it is the most oddball Zelda game there ever was.
Yeah, it's definitely sort of a 2D side-scrolling thing.
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
with magic points and levels that you gain, and it's really weird, but I love it. Like, that's, to me, Zelda 2 is like the easiest one to play through again and again.
Yeah.
I don't know why I play it, but I played through Zelda 2 maybe every 5 years or something.
And the other one I really liked, which was, for all, critical purposes, a lousy game. I played through most of the Ultima series, which is an old PC series, with Richard Garriott, and I played 9, which was released unplayable and completely. First of all, no PC could run it, and second of all, there were just too many glitches. And I bought it immediately and was able to play it. Probably a year later, I tried again when my parents got me a new computer, and I loaded it up, and it was playable, and it was a radical departure, or it was all over the shoulder, third person rather than top down. And it was sort of an action game, and I'm sure if I played it again, it would be no good at all.
Yeah.
And it just mashed the attack button.
That's
use your special attack whenever, but I loved it when I was playing it, just because it was the whole Ultima world.
Yeah, I remember Ultima as a big name from. It never mattered to me as a console NES, SNES person, but like, I remember that name meaning a lot back then, like as far as the PC side. So that's one of those franchises I'm surprised has like been dormant for so long.
It was going really well, and then I think Richard Garriott is now unable to make a game where he doesn't decide to revolutionize something. He did Ultima Online, and that just so rarely works that it's just he completely revamped the series.
I'm going to revolutionize the sword magic game.
Yeah. Tabula Rasa is just, I don't know what he was doing with that, but
it was revolutionary.
It's what it is, man. It's a blank slate. There's nothing written on it as we speak.
So get to writing
millions of dollars to
write some shit on that.
And that worked so well. People still play that, right?
Make it a tabula written.
Rosin.
A
tabula rosgrees. Michael.
Oh, I'm having a hard time thinking of stuff here.
Just say Super Mario 2.
No, I'm going to say Chinatown Wars.
Oh, okay.
That was a pretty radical departure for GTA. A lot of people just think, it's just a step backward to the top-down GTA, and no, it wasn't at all. It was still 3D. It switched up its perspective sometimes, and it had that awesome drug dealing minigame, which was basically, in some ways, ripped off from Dope Wars, but it was.
Which I had never played.
I think I played it like on a BBS or a variant of it when I was a kid.
What the fuck is a BBS?
You don't want to know. Okay, see, before there was World Wide Web access.
It's when your girlfriend wrote the article on the calculator games, the Texas Instrument T1. Well, I don't remember.
TI-86.
Basically, you had an Apple II or like a 286, and you would dial into a local service.
The most subversive thing you could play without images.
Did you have to crank the computer before you could play
it? And sometimes you had to kick it in the spokes.
Charge it up a kinetic barrier around it.
If you had a really cool computer, you could put a card in the spokes so it sounded like a motorcycle. But yeah, GTA Chinatown Wars is fucking fantastic. This Castlevania 2 is another oddball.
It is an oddball one.
The thing is, it's not anymore.
Not anymore.
It used to be, but
it's still kind of oddball because none of the other ones have that same format where it's just like this big, like side-scrolling 2D world that it's not vertical really. It's just you're just like walking in one direction or the other. And there's a couple of branching paths, but not really.
Strangely enough, Order of Ecclesia is very much like that.
Really?
It reintroduces a town with villagers, and it has all. It very much is like a modern day Castlevania 2. And that's why I really like Order of Ecclesia. It's fucking.
Do you really like Simon's Quest?
At the time, I thought it was incredibly difficult, but as I got older, I started appreciating it more. Plus, it introduced us to Bloody Tears.
That's true. Another DS game, Assassin's Creed 2 Discovery, which I did not like at all.
It's very
basically like
ridiculous.
It is. Basically, all the Assassin's Creed games, even like the Altair's Chronicles, at least attempted to do something that was sort of like the full-sized Assassin's Creed game.
It's a really good one.
This Discovery is just a side-scroller. And I actually would take it one step further. I'd say it's a perfectly good Sonic the Hedgehog game that's ruined by this shitty stealth stuff. Because you get running and jumping, and it's really fun, and then all of a sudden this eye pops up, and it's like, oh, a guy's looking at me, and now I've failed.
A guy's looking at you. Now I have to stop and sneak up to him so he doesn't turn around.
Well, maybe if I didn't dress head to toe in white.
Stab combo. And it'll be like the giant Sonic levels and 5 guys per level that you have to stop and just murder for no reason.
Incredibly bad design.
Yeah.
It was good design, but then they hamstrung it.
Yeah.
I wanted to add F-Zero Maximum Velocity to that.
What the fuck is that?
Wow.
The GBA launch game. They launched the Game Boy Advance 2001 with F-Zero Maximum Velocity. It is the only game in the series that has nothing to do with any of the others. It has no Captain Falcon, no Pico, no Samurai Goro, nothing. It's just a bunch of new characters in a new setting, and it's not a particularly great F-Zero game, but I still bought it and played it to death because I just love the concept of F-Zero. But like it has no connection to anything else, and it was the only F-Zero on GBA until 2004. I think they released GP Legend.
But was it a fun racing game?
It was all right.
Well, as long as we're talking about GBA launch games, how about Circle of the Moon? No one likes that thing.
Circle of the Moon.
I like Circle.
It was really good when it came out, and then the moment like anything else came out, you were like, God, this was actually pretty crap.
It was also better when the GBA SP came out, and you could go back and play it.
Actually see the damn thing.
Yeah.
But F-Zero Maximum Velocity is another one that like a really strange game. Had nothing. Like, why would you? That franchise had a legacy. F-Zero X was just released like 3 years prior in '98. It was well received, sold well. Why would you shake it up?
Oh, I got to interrupt you. Phone calls are too ready because I believe
phone calls are ready.
I believe there's too many nice things to say after the 24-hour marathon.
Oh dear. This phone number is.
Hello there, TalkRadar.
Oh, you want to say it?
1-877-404. 1337 extension 325 327 DAR DAR. I don't remember.
404 lead DAR. 404 error.
404
leet
DAR. Extension DAR or FAP.
Lead FAP.
Beauty Boost from the forums. Gamertag Superpower762. It is Saturday the 21st, the day of the 24-hour gaming marathon, 2:07 p.m. on the East Coast, and I just invited you guys to play in hopes that I would get a message back to play Battlefield Bad Company 2 because you tweeted that about 7 minutes ago. And just sitting here waiting, Games Radar Cores, who I originally invited, just
keep us updated on that. I want to know exactly what happens. Fingers crossed.
Got my
Paul.
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
He's gonna respond.
Hey, this is Hanamana UTX, and right now I'm in the middle of the 24-hour games marathon. And I have to say, as much as I love Battlefield Bad Company 2, this shit is a bitch to set up.
Oh, yep. Terrible.
Alright, that's all. Just wanted to share something.
It was true. It requires a new map pack.
Such a pain to set up.
I don't know why we didn't encounter that. I really thought there was something where you had to put in a code, they kept saying, and you wouldn't be able to play it on other machines. We never encountered that problem. In order to play the game, there was like a 20-minute patch that needed to be installed. And on the PS3, it was probably even worse.
Oh, the PS3, I remember we were, like, Grim started installing the updates like 30
Bioshock
minutes.
2 required a full install.
Oh, God. It's just those moments where it's like, what?
Shit.
What?
How are we supposed to know this?
The 360 units are up and playing, and everyone's like, why aren't the PS3s ready? Like, rightfully so. Like, why aren't the PS3s ready? Because we're installing updates.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Every game needs one, and it takes for fucking ever.
Yep.
Next phone call.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have more?
I was just going to say, anybody who wasn't able to get in on games, apologize, but Yeah, you have to join us. We can't just constantly be inviting you.
Yes, it cannot happen.
Because we are being deluged with requests.
Oh yeah, you can send me a message, but that usually meant the latest person to send me a message
that's
got
the
invited.
thing. I apologize. Playing on the PS3, I did not read even a quarter of those messages.
No,
because
even on 360, it was impossible. There were just so many messages coming in.
The PS3, it's an extra pain in the ass because you have to navigate down like 3 menus to see that you got messages.
Yeah,
that's true.
But yeah, I felt bad because anytime I saw someone's name come up 2 or 3 times, I would like run out into the middle of the office and be like, "Does anyone have this guy in his friends list that can add him to this game? Because he really wants to get in and he's trying real hard."
I tried to make a video, and I hope it'll be done by Friday. It involves people who played us on PS3 and 360.
It's real cool.
It thanks everybody who I could possibly find who played with us. Your name is scrolled across the screen while you get to see yourself playing with us. So hopefully that'll work out.
Hey, TalkRadar. This is Screwball0247 from the forums again.
What up?
And I was going to call you guys, but I forgot what I was going to say. And I then tripped and fell down the stairs, which I do a lot, and remembered, and here it is.
Bonesaw is ready.
Yeah. Everybody get out of here. Bonesaw is ready.
Oh, shit, man.
I could hear his throat shredding itself.
I know.
Bonesaw is ready.
Thank you, Paul. You should do Bonesaw for now.
Okay.
Bonesaw.
Would you like to threaten somebody?
I feel uncomfortable threatening people.
Doing it as Bonesaw.
Bonesaw is ready.
There he goes. It's really good. It's really good.
Tell him you're gonna fuck someone sideways.
Bonesaw is ready. He's gonna fuck someone sideways.
That is true.
Hey, it's Nick says, what's up again? And I just watched Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and I would just like to say that Knives, when she has blue hair, she totally looks like Hit Girl. Anyway, that's all.
Look, sir, you really hit upon my white trash girl fixation. I'm not sure. Nick says what's up. I'm not sure I can allow you to call me anymore. This does a weird thing to me. My Britney Spears fantasy totally kicked in there. Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, y'all want to party? You want to come get to know me? I'm trailer. Yeah.
I reckon I do.
Yeah. Ooh, this one's 5 seconds. I predict it to be great.
Wait, was he saying that the Knives Child girl was hot with the blue hair?
Yeah. Oh, dude, she was really hot.
Correct.
Hey, TalkRadar crew, fuck.
Those are my favorite.
Oh, wait, play it again.
Those are my favorite.
Play it again.
Hey, TalkRadar crew, fuck.
Take Radar?
Take Radar.
What would we write about on Take Radar?
Oh, 2 seconds in.
What the fuck?
We are not Take Radar.
I forgot you guys don't hear these before they go on
That should be if we're ever a criminal ring, we should
I know, it's like Take Radar.
Call ourselves Take Radar.
Hey, you're part of Take Radar now.
That's right, kidnappee.
We take
Sit there, drink your Stockholm Syndrome.
We're not give radar, we're take radar.
Take radar.
We take. What is this?
What is this?
Hey, TalkRadar crew. It's
Better.
Weston from Canada, also known as John Dagger on the forum. Now, I have a question for you guys. You know those times when you're just zoned into a game and it's a really serious or inappropriate part of the game, and then someone just walks into the room. They look at the screen, you just kind of want to set yourself on fire of embarrassment. Kind of like one time I was playing Mass Effect 1 and the romantic scene started playing and my dad walked in. I had to explain to him that this isn't the whole game, there's aliens in it, I really swear.
Took a lot of time.
I remember real Dan Emmerich Jr. on the forums, he told me about the time he was playing Rayplay and Fox News walked in. So,
oh, God.
Well, he deserved
the whole
anyway,
game.
I was just wondering what your most embarrassing gaming moments were, if you wanted to talk about them or not. So I gotta go tap a maple tree for some... because in Canada. Hey.
I'm going to assume that word that got cut off was semen.
Semen tree?
Tap a maple tree for some semen.
I believe
that's what you do, right?
Tree.
I believe that's a stereotype.
Some maple semen.
Canadians love semen. It's really.
God, I don't want to get gross or gay.
Yeah,
it's really but maple semen sounds delicious right now. I would really like. Wait a minute. Go ahead, Michael. I want to read you
I'm just going to say that predicament that he described is called having parents. It's a fact of life that when you are playing or watching something inappropriate, like You'll be watching a perfectly respectable movie, and the one part that they're saying something weird or there's a sex scene, that's when your mom will walk in and say, "What are you watching?"
This hard-on's not going to take care of itself, son. Mom. Oh.
Your mom gets hard-ons?
That was sort of the joke, but nobody laughed. That's okay.
That's because we were all horrified.
No one laughs at my mom's hard neck anymore.
Horrified at your mom boners. Or your boner mom.
My boner mom. Ooh. Dark Tone sent us congratulations about the 24 marathons that he had fun playing with me.
That was nice.
Phone calls are ready?
Phone calls are ready, but there was some guy who I've never felt the need, I don't even know if I'll say his name, but I didn't like his message.
Okay.
And I didn't like the fact that he bothered to construct this and send this to me. And I haven't read all of Scott Pilgrim, so this could help. I have kind of recently read the 6 books of the Scott Pilgrim series. It was the first time I have ever downloaded a book, and I love them, and I will buy the game when it comes out on XBLA. And I will try and see the movie on DVD or in a theater, both of which seem kind of unlikely, considering that I live in Finland. Scott Pilgrim, the saga, not the character, seems kind of gay. I mean, most of the time in the movies, games, whatever, there's like one gay guy. But in Scott Pilgrim, there's Wallace, who's outrageously gay. Other Scott, who is kind of gay. Mobile, is that a person?
Yeah, Mobile is Wallace's boyfriend. Other Scott is not kind of gay. Other Scott is gay.
He is gay. Books are not possibly in the scene where Scott walks in on Wallace and sees him as junk. Thought that would be someone in the bed with Wallace. I can't remember. The guy with the beard and the sweater and the recording equipment, whose name I can't remember. And on top of that, Stephen Stills, who is the most awesome, epic, badass character in the earlier books, who I will use as my main character when the game gets his gay on with the guy with the beard in Volume 6. It's just so much gay in the series that I have a hard time recommending the books to all my friends. Your friends don't like gay people. Like it's almost the dumbest thing. I have no advice to give you.
Well, it's like that's like 5 or 6 characters out of a cast of what, like 30?
Yeah,
and it's still a minority.
And even so, they're young and they do something gay, like usually for comedic effect.
Yeah,
and like, who the fuck cares?
Here's the other thing: it's like
these characters aren't you.
If you spend a lot of time hanging out in like the club scene of any city, which the main characters in Scott Pilgrim do a lot in Toronto, you're gonna meet some gay people.
Yep,
it's just a fact of life.
I don't even know what to say about that. Like,
accept it and move on.
What do you want advice? Like, well, gay people are gonna happen.
Yeah, they exist. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There is more than one in a work of fiction, and you don't like that. And that makes
well, he didn't
it gay.
say he didn't like it. He was just afraid he didn't want to recommend it to his friends.
Well, I do think there was a little bit. If you picked up on it and it's clearly bothered him.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, though, yeah, there's a lot of there's a fair number of gay characters in Scott Pilgrim, but I mean the main storyline is a heterosexual romance.
But guess what?
What?
You know what's gross to me? Gay. He doesn't like gay. It's gross.
Okay.
That's gross to me. Sex with like really fat people. So I see Roseanne and her husband get on. I don't have a right to pick at her right to fuck them because I think it's nasty or gross.
That's true.
I don't want to see junk.
It's none of my fucking business. So like,
I don't want to see fat marriage in this state.
I don't want to. Yeah, no more fat marriage. Fuck this shit. Like it just. Get used to it. Jesus Christ, let people find fuck. Oh, I meant love. I meant love. New phone call.
Hey guys at TalkRadar, it's Yoel Chrysler, also known as JC Denton 825 from the website. I love your show. I haven't been listening for very long, but
Okay.
Oh,
that was my bad.
I was hooked.
Wait.
114, I was hooked.
Yeah.
114 was a good one.
I just wanted to see what's your favorite like 90s era PC game, like in the era of Unreal Tournament 1999 and the era of Deus Ex and all those great games. So, I mean, if you could play this on the air, that'd be pretty cool, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Dark Forces.
Right, thanks, guys. Bye.
I loved Dark Forces. I loved, obviously, Half-Life and maybe Treasure Master. If anybody can find me some Treasure Master, I can't. I don't even know if that's the name of it, but a dumbass treasure game that existed on the PC, and it has the creepiest music that I want to find for game music of the day.
Treasure Master has good music for NES. I don't think it's the same game.
It's probably not the same game then. Whatever. But Dark Forces blew my fucking mind. I couldn't believe that.
That's
shit
the
existed.
exact time period where I couldn't play PC games anymore. The last things I played were Duke Nukem 3D and Warcraft 2.
But the thing was, I think I was 2 years late. I got Dark Forces 2 years late. But even at that time, there had been no equivalent on the consoles. None.
Yeah.
None.
There was a PS1 Dark Forces, but it was pretty shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a Mac in college, first off, and I think the period from roughly 97, 98 to 2002, I wasn't really playing any PC games. But yeah, before that, I played the shit out of Duke Nukem 3D, even the shitty Sierra games that were coming out around then, like Phantasmagoria, King's Quest 7. Oh, man.
7, wow.
The one that was trying to be like Disney. Back when Sierra was in their weird FMV phase.
I will try and bring this up in a larger context, but I'm sharing a house with Tyler. He wanted the 360 for a night. He wanted the HD systems. Went back in my room and I played Mark of Cree almost all the way through.
Wow.
Yeah. Fucking awesome. Played it last night.
I did that a couple weeks ago.
Have you played Rise of the Kasai yet?
No, I was doing that to lead up to it. And then I realized I didn't have a memory card, and so I just played through without a memory card and didn't finish and lost all my progress.
I remember that being a long game to play through in one sitting.
It isn't if you're patient. There's a lot of stealth.
Yeah, I mean, I beat it, but it was 7 years ago or something. But I just remembered it being a longer game.
It's really good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Poorly PC game.
I played a few. I played Myth: The Fallen Lords. I think that was 98.
Oh man, I remember that.
97.
That was Bungie.
Great strategy
magic,
game.
I guess.
Yeah. I played Might and Magic. I played a lot of those, and Heroes of Might and Magic, which are both
This is a
radically
lot of
different.
swords, Paul.
It is.
Yeah.
Did you play anything with a gun in it?
No, I didn't play shooters for long. I was scared of shooters when I was through third or fourth grade.
When was the first Diablo? Did anybody play Diablo 1 or 2?
Yeah, I played Diablo 1 and 2, but not as much as 1. One was still when you could spawn. Blizzard would let you spawn copies, so you could play on your LAN. And just you'd install the spawned version, which just had the ability to play with the post version of your game.
I don't want to alarm anybody. I want to go to the next phone call.
Oh, okay.
Do it.
Hello, TalkRadar. This is Jake, a.k.a. One Wing Dentista from the forums.
Hi.
I'm just calling to tell you about how much fucking I hate McDonald's. But I'd also like to say, you guys rule. Thank you for doing the podcast. And as a TalkRadar 116, I've been listening for a year. Thank you all for making my drives to school half hour away completely a little more tolerable. Thank you all. If I buy.
Before you hated McDonald's, they're
how much fucking you hate McDonald's?
They're offering a $5 coupon off Batman Brave and the Bold.
Oh, the Wii game?
Yes.
Oh.
Wow. Yes, so you buy some horrible diabetes-laden food.
Throw it out.
And you can get
and use the $5 that you spent to get $5 off on Batman.
And you can get almost half of what a minimum wage worker makes in California off of a game. McDonald's. That's all I'm saying.
But every so often, I have to have McNuggets.
I think it's the smell.
Once a year, it has to happen.
It sounds like a girl.
Walk by.
You guys interrupting the girl call?
Can't be a girl.
I don't think that's a girl.
I think it is.
It does sound like a lot of calls I got from girls in bars.
That has to be Heidi. My girlfriend, by the way. Next phone call.
Gentlemen, this is 455 on the forum.
I remember him.
I'm calling once again to say hello. And because I also forgot to do some shout-outs on 114. Wanted to send a shout-out to @Oscar on Twitter, which is the company that made all the delicious beer that we had there. Let's see. Then also @Snoot more about beer, podcast some of the Penny Arcade Enforcers.
Okay, I shouldn't intentionally skip over what he's saying.
Do some shout-outs on 114. Wanted to send a shout-out to @Oscar Blues, who is on Twitter, which is the company that made all our delicious beer that we had there.
Hate them. Almost.
Then
Delicious.
also at Snooty Drunks, which is the podcast if you want to hear more about beer. It's a podcast that some of the Penny Arcade Enforcers run. It's something that gets a little bit more into beer as far as that. Also, one other one, Rad Lizard, if you happen to be in the market for a 3D animator for some reason. All right, thank you guys. It's really fun being on the cast, and looking forward to seeing you guys at PAX.
4:35. Woo!
Got us belligerently drunk 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that company, whoever made the beer, ask them if they want to sponsor us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we will totally pimp the shit out of that stuff.
Yes,
Give me like 2 weeks to bring my tolerance up.
I was going to say, if they sponsored and we were flooded with that beer, we'd probably be off the air in about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, they would just hate each other. I think that beer, it's like whiskey beer or something. It makes me want to fight people.
That anger in Tyler Wilde, who's normally a nice guy.
one another.
Tyler, why don't you just use this knob? Fuck you!
I think it just makes people mad.
This is a long phone call. What happened?
30-second limit, people. 30 seconds.
I see.
Hey, TDar guys. This is Mitts or MKGs, as you guys kind of know me on the internet. I've been up for 55 hours now.
What? Unbelievable.
Good lord.
You're starting a 24-hour
I
marathon.
want to say that I just completed the sixth, not consecutive, but the sixth run-through of all of your podcasts. I've listened to every single one of your podcast episodes 6 times. Wow. Including, when they first come out, and then re-listens.
They can't get better.
I love you guys. This is probably a crap call because I'm really tired.
You sound very tired,
you guys
sir.
Are great. You get me through life.
Aw.
And yeah, and yes, episode 10 probably your worst episode.
Come on!
You guys are great. I want to go to bed now.
Yes, take some well-deserved rest.
I'm probably the only one who's listened to the podcast that many times.
No way. If you listen to the podcast 15 times, I will be absolutely shocked.
I've definitely listened to 15 different.
I will be surprised if you listen to every episode you were on.
I haven't heard every episode that I'm on.
I know.
I hate listening to myself. Everybody
Really?
does, yeah.
I figured you
Imagine what it feels like to
Figured
hate listening to yourself.
You guys have gotten over that.
Yeah, having to edit your own face every week. Next
I've listened to most of them. Maybe all of them.
Hey guys, it's Gerard from the forums, also known as Super Duper Xbox Taker, jizzing on a toddler while doing a handstand pizza. And oh shit, my dog's taking a crap. Hold on.
And hang up.
You know what? I'm calling shenanigans. I bet he doesn't have a dog.
Oh, Elston.
I bet it was him taking a crap the whole time.
Elston is calling a TalkRadar hotline shenanigans. Nope. That means you don't get to call again without permission from the lion.
How do you get permission from the lion?
You come on down to the prize van where we got the $5 footlong.
Another person said like we were their new morning show. They listen to us in the mornings.
Wow.
And all I want to do is shit like that. Oh man,
Super
you know what that means? It's time for the daily giveaway.
I've been enjoying the third segment devolving into a bonesaw Randy Savage.
I'm trying not to because I actually noticed I've woken up and it hurts a little bit after yelling like bonesaw after drinking and smoking a lot.
Hello, this is your mother calling, Chris. I just wanted to tell you
Jim
need
Varney?
to shower because you stink like pizza. I love you, honey. Goodbye.
Mom!
That is literally
God!
Jim Varney and Ernest Saves Christmas.
God. It's your mother calling. I have a neck brace on and big.
So, with these thick glasses, which one of you?
I didn't realize your mom was a New York Jew.
I know. Born in Alaska.
Yeah.
No, sir. She is a fat cunt from the Midwest. You got your accent way wrong. Way wrong. Next phone call.
Hello, TalkRadar. This is Paul Ryan.
What?
I'm just calling in to say hi. Alright, I can't do it anymore. Hi, this is Jake, one wing dead user from the forums.
Oh,
I
it's
got
not
really
me.
bored, so I decided to call you guys.
I hope you play this on the air. See ya. Bye.
That's the guy who didn't have a dog that was shitting.
He's right. We have a couple more.
Well, let's do one more and get out of here. It's 10:15.
Yeah, one more. We'll try and do the rest next week. Really, it was a lot.
Hello, TalkRadar.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
You're douchebags.
Oh.
Well, at least somebody mugged him at the end of that. I feel better about that.
I thought that was the sound of him
Hello,
masturbating.
TalkRadar.
I want one more that isn't going to make me want to murder our listeners.
Remember, that boo is a minute long.
Something I can do. One of the things that most infuriated me on the last podcast, I have like 60 phone calls a week, and I played one again, and Michael's like, you should stop replaying phone calls. Thanks for the advice. That's awesome.
Just saying.
Chris, you know what would make the podcast better?
Yeah.
Repeat phone calls.
Should you go ahead and not do that? You know, these things come to me in a string of like numbers and random letters.
I know exactly what you mean.
Hello, TalkRadar. This is a listener's brother. I'm just calling to say that you guys are a bunch of 30-year-old nothings who devoted your lives to video games. Wow, you went far. I'll bet your parents are proud of you.
They are.
Yeah, actually.
My mom doesn't.
My mom emailed me today and said, I'm so proud of you.
I don't know what to do. That guy made me feel really bad about
No, he's right. We are 30-year-old nothings, and I mean, here we are getting paid to write about video games, and we totally suck.
Well, I'm not 30.
The joke's on him because I'm not 30 either.
But I don't have
I'm
a
not
job.
30. I am 30.
Actually, you are 30 finally.
I am 30, but
All right.
but I didn't wait 2 hours to get a phone number and call into a podcast. Wow. That makes you shut up.
It does make him shut up. You're right.
Shut up. It hurts. Wow. Everything about it hurts. I need one more.
I'm just amazed at somebody who would potentially. That's why I think it's. I think it's a loving joke because surely no one.
If he's that
anyone who hated a podcast enough to call in, it's like you have a lot of time.
Well, now that the secret's out and that we don't screen these.
Yeah.
Hey, GamesRadar. Username I think Lizzie is hot. Question: what would you rather have? The GamesRadar flavored beer or GamesRadar brand of cigarettes? All right, love you guys.
I'd have to go with beer as a non-smoker.
No. You would have to go
like pizza.
You would have to go with cigarettes.
I would have to go with cigarettes.
You would, Michael.
Why?
Listen, hear me out.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't be able to. You can smoke cigarettes at 9 o'clock in the morning, noon, and you can do it on the company dime.
Well, you can.
But you could too. It would
if I wanted to.
I think it's the best thing to get us all smoking again. And you're never more creative when you're outside smoking.
It's also there's a million.
I disagree. I am
now.
much more creative at 6 a.m. when I have been up until 6 a.m.
No.
Yes.
It's not true. That's when everything becomes dire and last minute, and like you don't have another option to get things done. You don't get creative.
I do.
You just get moving.
I do both.
You get moving when you're outside and you're yelling about. All right, fine. Tomorrow, next week.
You're wrong.
Yeah, I'll accept being wrong, but I think a GamesRadar cigarette would be pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But it better be savory. TalkRadar is over.
I would like to tease.
Go for it, Elston.
My ever-changing sizes of Samus, Ridley, and Kraid, which went up on Wednesday. It's a bunch of sprite comparisons and graphic comparisons of Samus, Ridley, and Kraid from all the Metroid games. Took a lot of time taking screen grabs and then grabbed some images of tons of Metroid games, tons of silly shit from like Ridley from the Captain N comic. He looks like a fucking purple duck. It looks ridiculous. But then also just how they relate to each other and their size. And Kraid goes from being this short, stout, pudgy thing to this huge green Godzilla monster. It's just fun to look at because it's just a bunch of sprites that blow up, and sprites always look cool when you blow them up.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Other M review is up now. I don't know what I have written yet, so hopefully it makes sense. I might be playing Super Metroid tonight on the Ustream. Hopefully not alone if that's the case. Probably alone.
If this podcast is up and edited, that means I haven't seen my girlfriend in 2 days.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. I am going to work on keeping employed, and I'm going to work. Also going to work. I'd like the messages I got. I'm going to work on personally profiting off of TalkRadar T-shirts. I will work on that. I can't believe people had to prod me to do so. Here's a site. Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Hopefully we'll have a 24-hour marathon video featuring all you guys. Videos I took of me playing with all of you guys, which I played with hundreds of you in a 24-hour period. So hopefully we'll have that up soon.
You're also going to put up I was going to give you the images for the TalkRadar magazine ads.
Okay.
Let's
do it.
It's pretty simple.
It's not that it's simple.
It'll go up sometime this weekend, hopefully.
We will have up some TalkRadar art-related thing over the weekend. So come to GamesRadar.com over the weekend.
It's very important.
It's very important, and it's something you've all wanted to see, or at least you've all really gone above and beyond in making.
Yep.
Michael, Paul. No, Michael first. I want to hear what Paul's doing afterwards.
I'm working on a couple of Mafia 2 guides for the Playboys and the Wanted posters, so at least one of those should be up and complete by the time you hear this, and the other one will be coming shortly if it's not up already.
Paul will be studying?
Yeah, I'm going to work hard and do my best, and hopefully if I
Where are you going to school?
Emerson.
Boston. So if you send a donation in Paul's name, it could help his grades.
It might, in 1 year, I may be able to get another couple weeks off and come back.
Yes, see? You pay Emerson money. Do we have an ending song?
Yes, the ending song. Keeping with the Metroid theme this week, the ending song is from Overclocked. Overclockedremix.org. OCRemix.org. It's from Super Metroid. It's the Brinstar Red Soil Swampy area, which great bit of
we're all familiar with.
Great bit of somber music that goes on in there. It's a piano, but the remix is from the Wingless called "All the World and One Girl," which is his first remix was called "All One Girl and All the World," and then he made a second one called "All the World and One Girl," which means a completely different thing.
Makes all the sense in the world to me.
But it's from the Wingless, and it's it actually, if you watch the movie, that Metroid vs. Halo Haloid video that was Samus and Master Chief getting in a crazy fight, it ends with this song as well. I think it's a great... It's one of those cool remixes that actually is barely related to the original game, but it's just so well done. It's one I've listened to for probably close to 7 years now, so it's...
else than I can dig it.
It's good. It's touching.
In the name of Samus, let's roll.
Good ending.